Hello and welcome to Valence. Welcome to the penultimate IFSC Lead World Cup for 2013. Situated just 60 miles south of Lyon, sitting on the left side of the River Rhône, Valence is home to 66,000 people and takes its name from the Latin root Valentia, which means strength and capacity. Now that is something our athletes are going to be very interested in at this late stage of the game on the IFSC lead year. And that is because strength, it is whether they have enough left at this stage of the season, and also capacity in terms of numbers when it comes to the rankings. The rankings are something these athletes have been fighting all year to try and get together on, and the rankings are what is most important with the last two World Cups still yet to come. So what do we know about those numbers? Well, in the men's, it is currently Sachi Ama in first place with 460 points. He is followed very closely by Jakob Schubert with 388 and also Ramon Julien Poblanc with 358. It is enough if both of those two athletes push over the next two World Cups, and if Sachi has a bit of a nightmare, to see some changes even at this late stage of the game on the podium. In the women's, it is even closer. We have Kim Jae-in with 525 points against Mina Markovic with 515. Now that is just a 10 points difference between our first and second place position athletes, even at this late stage, meaning that whichever one of them bests the other over these next two World Cups, that one will be going home with the overall World Cup ranking gold. In third place, we also have a bit of a battle going on between Momoka Oda against Magdalena Roek and also Hélène Janicot of France. Any one of those three athletes could be taking third overall. So it is finals day here in Valence. We start things off this morning with the semi-finals with our 26 men, 26 women from yesterday in the qualifying rounds, making it through into this next stage of the event. In the men's, that was 12 male athletes in tied first place position. Included amongst them, Sachi Ama, Jakob Schubert, also Ramon Julien Poblanc, Sean McCall, and not surprisingly, Adam Ondra in his first comeback attempt onto the IFSC circuit in a while. We were talking to him a little bit yesterday. He's looking forward to the semi-finals this morning. In the women's then, if we were to come over this way a little bit and give you a brief look at the wall that we'll be seeing later on, this is the women's semi-final round. In the women's, we have four tied first place positions. They are Dinara Fakhretdinova. We also have Kim Jae-in, Momoka Oda and Mina Markovic, and that is very important when we look at those World Cup rankings so far. It's going to be very interesting, considering that they are all tied on countback at this stage, to see how they get on moving through the semis into the finals later on this evening. Let's have a look at the start lists. With our start list for the men's lead semi-final here, starting things off with Thomas Tauporn, moving down through our first 9 of our 26 here. Elan Jonas McRae making it through into the semi-finals. Good news for him, the young athlete from Canada. Bernard Roark as well, a competitor with Elan at the World Youth Championships earlier this year in Canada. Loic Timmermans here, as well as Kim Jae-bi, qualifying relatively low, Kim Jae-bi. And also a surprise here for Min Hyun-bin, qualifying relatively low as well here. 9th out today. Urban Primozic, who made the finals just recently over in Wuyang, here in the semi-final stage now as well, but not one of our double top athletes from yesterday. We move into those athletes with Adam Ondra here for the Czech Republic. And onto the final page as well here, you can see our final 9 athletes, and at the very top, well, the very bottom here, you can see our very top ranked athletes and this triple threat for the gold medal overall World Cup ranking that we're looking at over the next two competitions. Sean McCall could be throwing a bit of a spanner in the works there for some of these athletes, especially considering when talking to our chief route setter Jan Zabranik, he's been talking about the combination between a bouldering and lead style for both the semi-finals and the finals. Sean will have an opportunity there to excel. Over onto the women's lead semi-final then. Here's our first 9 female athletes, starting off with Mathilde Brumain, Claudia Gazolfi here as well, Tina Jonsson-Hafsas. Here onto our second page, Tina Susterzik, Yuka Kobayashi, Aya Noe, Maya Vidmar, Nikki van Bergen, Katharina Posch and Jessica Pils there for Austria, two of the younger female athletes from Austria, but both of those athletes could be seeing their way into the finals. No problem at all for them if they put in a good fight here in the semis. Akio Noguchi as well, Bit of a tough run for her yesterday, missed out on the top, but making it through to the semi-finals and qualifying relatively high as well. Here we are with another and our final 9. At the bottom there, you can see our tied 4th place positions: Dinara Thakradinova, Momoka Oda, Kim Jae-in and Mina Markovic. So we already then move straight on to our first 2 athletes here today. They are Thomas Tauporn and Mathilde Brumain. These are your semi-final routes. Welcome back to Valence. All that remains for me to do is to introduce my co-commentator with me today, all the way through the semi-finals, which will be Sebastian Helenki. Seb, how are you doing?
Hey, hello, and yeah, it's nice to be commentating with you again once more. Well, I'm pretty fine today, but it was quite a disappointment for me yesterday. Again, it was just not my competition, but yeah, today it's better, and I'm happy to be commentating with you again.
Nice to have you back with us, Seb. Thank you for coming along. Now you're here to offer a bit of insight into the technical side of things moving through the semi-finals. We're starting off with Thomas Tauporn. Let's start with the men's route here and what you have taken already by looking at this men's route. What are you expecting we're going to see here? Is this going to be a tough one?
Yeah, I think it's for sure a really tough route. The first part of the route is a kind of technical part with some, yeah, it's kind of slappy and some really small crimps. And here we are moving into the roof. And I think this roof section might be a first little crooks, but I'm not that sure. It depends on the holes quite a lot. But for sure, afterwards there are a few blue holes right next to the edge. And from there, pushing to the right into the yellow roof, I think that will be really hard for sure. And I think this one is like the first crooks move here. It's a really tough one. And then on top, you have lots of athletic movements, but you have to find your right foothold positions quite well, I think. So it's a quite interesting route, I think.
They've definitely used one of the interesting parts of the wall here, having them move over onto that arete edge and then into this weird kind of corner pocket here before then pushing onto the front. So you think from this point here, then going over, because he's got a strike out right in a moment to those black holes you can see there, this again could be another crux on the wall?
Yeah, I think so, but for him it was looking quite easy right now. I got surprised. Maybe the left hold is kind of in-cut that you can hold it quite good, but for sure right now it's going to be really tough because there are a few really long movements and I think also quite dynamic ones. Wow. Yeah, I think it's quite hard here.
You can definitely see Thomas here fighting. And there it is straight away. Seb, good call on that one. An unfortunate circumstance for Thomas Tauporn. Striking up there from the blue holds onto the pink there, the first move onto that pink. And we're noticing Thomas Tauporn coming down there. So let's wait and see what happens with our next few athletes.
Yeah, I'm pretty curious how the next few athletes are going to do there.
But a good call from the start. Let's go over onto the women's then. You've had a look at this. I mean, they're using the entire central wall here. They've got a big opportunity to use the majority of this middle section of the wall. And at the top, they're really using that to its full capacity.
Sure. It's a huge traverse there.
So talk to us about this one. Looking at what you can see from the women's route, I mean, are we looking at an atypical women's route, very technical, or are we looking at some surprises here?
Well, I would say it's mainly a really technical route, and it has lots of very small crimps. And on top there, you have a huge traverse to the right, and it makes it being a quite endurance-based route as well. But I think also there are a few quite hard movements where you have to find very well your foothold positions. I think it's a very tricky technical route, but it looks quite interesting.
Are we noticing a potential rest spot here? Undercling that she's got going on at the moment for these athletes before pushing into the second roof. It looks like they could be having a comfortable moment to recoup here.
Yeah, I think here it's for sure some kind of resting point, and maybe a little bit further up. There on this little pink kind of snake hold. That could be another potential rest, but I'm not so sure how it is.
So welcome if you are joining us. We are here for the semi-finals of Valence in France, our penultimate lead IFSC World Cup. Seb, talk to us about the season so far overall. Has it been a good one, you think?
Well, it was like kind of mixed one. It started pretty good for me, with Briançon, it was an amazing go there, and as well in Cali for the World Games, I had a quite good go. Even with a few mistakes there, it was going good. Right now, at the end of the season, I think I'm pretty tired of the whole season, and the mixture of a lot of training, school, and being ill a few times, it has taken me kind of down, I think. So, well, the season started good and it went upwards, but now it's going a little bit downwards. I'm hoping that next year it's going to be a little bit more constant. But yeah, I think it's okay for a start for sure.
What about the World Cups in general? For you, any highlights in terms of the routes that we've seen, the kind of performances we've seen some of our athletes for you so far for this year? Anything that really stood out as just being an amazing final or semi?
I would say the finals in Perth, they were really amazing with that jump. It was really interesting to watch. I really liked it a lot. And, well, thinking about it, also the finals in Perm that I watched on live stream was looking really nice for sure. But those ones were my personal favorite ones to watch.
Well, one more still left to come, guys, after this. Cran still on the horizon, but for now these athletes turn their attention to the semi-finals here. Shout out to some of the people that are joining us on the feed, climbing in Savinia, checking in as per usual. Nice to see you guys with us. Also Cam's back as well, and so is Climber Against Cancer, getting in touch saying hi to everyone. Great to get started in Valence. So it's nice to have CAC with us as well. If you guys don't know what that is, if you want to get involved, I'm going to plug it yet again by asking you to get yourselves over onto the CAC website, which is climbersagainstcancer.org, and have a little look at some of the things that they're bringing out as we move towards Christmas to help support this fantastic charity cause. That again, the website is climbersagainstcancer.org. Now then, with Nyota Hakamada, we're seeing an earlier fall here around the first roof, not making it up onto the to the blue, but you said that you thought here it's almost like it's a double crux.
Yeah, I think it's here like the very first crux, as I already said at the beginning, and I just saw he actually didn't get the right hole on the left around the corner. I think he just didn't find it. Wow.
And that's a massive amount of shoulder work expected for the women there on that cross.
Yeah, you need a lot of core power there, I think. Looks pretty hard, but it looks nice. I think there you really have to go fast and through a little bit control, but for sure you need a lot of power there.
Well, Mathilde with a good run there to start us off. First of all, she was just reaching out to the 35th hold, so I'm reckoning around a 34 plus there with that moving over. Did manage to kind of almost control it, but maybe not quite long enough on that 35th hold as she reached out with the right hand. So a total all in all of 55 holds on the women's route here. It's a really, really long one. Actually, no, sorry, I'll take that back. 57 holds here on the women's. For the men's, we're looking at 45, so a shorter route for the men's, but we're already seeing this double crux area around the first roof and moving into the second roof, and it's going to be an interesting finish as well there for the men's also. I will, of course, be talking to Jans Brennick, who is our route setter here. He'll be coming up in a few moments' time, and he'll give us a rough grading and talk us through what he has in mind for this this stage of the competition, what we're expecting to see, whether we're going to have any cruxes on the women's wall. That crossover looked pretty tough then, but we should see some of the stronger athletes finding a different way around that one, I think. Do you think there's anything in a different way of moving across, or is it literally just a shoulder move there? They've got to just go for it.
Yeah, I would say it's just a shoulder move there. I don't really see a good different possibility. I think it's really the best just doing it as a shoulder move the way that Thomas did it. I think it's actually the only real way to do it.
Well, our next athlete out here then, Flavien Gourmand from France, yesterday with a score of 39 and a 40 plus. Now starts on this men's route. We'll be joining our next athlete over on the women's wall now with Claudia Gazolfi as well, about to start her next climb. So the qualifications yesterday then, Seb, talk us through your experience of the routes themselves. I mean, were they a tough qualifying rounds, do you think?
Well, I think the qualifications actually of the grading, they were not too hard, I would say. They were not really physically hard routes, but I would say you had to do them right, and even if you got pumped, you should climb still precise and technical. And I think that was also one of my little mistakes that I did, that when I got tired, I just tried to move on too fast, or I didn't take the right decision, so I fell. But I found the routes really, really nice here. I I would say they were maybe together with Briançon my favorite qualification routes this year.
The far right one that we were covering, men's group 1, that was definitely an instant of getting, almost we were seeing athletes getting flash pumped at the very beginning and then hitting a very powerful section into the roof. It was definitely very draining with very few opportunities really to rest up. Do you think we're going to see a similar thing here in the semi-finals with the men's route as well? Or do you think there are a few moments here where these guys will be able to find a rest? Can you see any rest yourself?
I don't really see a serious rest there. Actually in that route. No, actually not at all. There's not a real rest. I think you have to move quite straightforward on that route. Also because it's a shorter one, so normally in shorter routes they don't have any resting positions. Maybe on the next hold, on the one after where he fell, there you could take a little rest, but just a few shakeouts and then you have to move on straight forward.
So we're looking at consistent tension all the way through with the men's route then, a sustained route here. 13.5 meters this wall in height, so not one of the tallest that we've had at our lead World Cups. It's relatively wide though, and the route setters are definitely taking advantage of that, moving the routes, having a bit of a snake pattern going on here to make the most of the wall that they have to work with. But a fantastic venue here.
Yeah, it's really nice. I have to say I really like that wall. It's a cool one and I'm finding it great. They changed the structure wall and there are no structures anymore there. So it's for every athlete really the same, because before when there were still on the sides the structure walls, it really depended. If you had already a lot of experience on that wall, you had a lot of advantages. But right now it's a lot better.
Well, we're definitely seeing a running trait here with our women on our second climb. This is definitely the moment to rest up and take stock before pushing up onto the next section of the wall. Currently then, this hold here for the women's, this is the 22nd and 23rd, so matching on this gives you 23. That's 24th and 25th now with the right from Claudia here. Again, a big push out there, taking the feet away from the wall, starting to work those shoulders already, and there's still this big move ahead of her yet to come.
I think soon she is going to have another little resting position on the next hold maybe.
Yeah, you were saying here around these snake pink,
yeah,
you think there could
so.
be a potential for another moment here?
But I think she's already pretty pumped, so she's going to move forward.
A little bit uncertain here about what to do with the feet, slapping up there and trying to get a hand onto what is the 32nd, 3rd and 4th hold, that long snaky pink hold she was just reaching up for. So that will give her a height of 31 plus at this moment. A good attempt there for Claudia Gazolfi, but you could see that, you know, moving into that shoulder work and coming off the wall so early and then pushing into an even more intense shoulder position, she was going to be getting tired by then.
Yeah, I think those movements are really powerful, and by that you're getting tired on your core and you're just not able to hold it anymore.
But we'll try and give you a different angle a little bit later on as well with our cameras, so that you can see just how intense that incline is up at that height. We've got cameras up in the gantries, so we can show you a little bit of a different shot later on with our next female climber or so, and we'll show you just how steep that incline becomes and how quick it gets pretty intense there around those pink volumes as well, with that big move there. So Bernard Roark here, I was talking about his experience over in Canada just recently. You've climbed against him as well, so you obviously know Bernard and of his attempts. Do you think this is a route that's going to be fitting off his style? You think he's going to be able to manage quite well here, or do you think he's going to have a bit of a hard time?
Well, I'm not pretty sure. I think he's for sure got a lot of fitness, but I don't know how he's going to like this roof section. I think it might be a little bit hard for him. Also, as he's not one of the most experienced climbers, he's still pretty young. He's actually 1 year younger than me. So this might take him out a little bit. I hope he's going to get it right. Oh, wow.
Risky move there from Bernard, and again, I think he knew there that he'd got himself in a tricky position, just trying to...
Yeah, I'm realizing almost all the persons are missing that little crimp there on the edge.
On the arete, if you you'll have to point that one out to me next time, because I think I'm missing it at the moment. Is it one of the pink holds?
Yeah. the little pink crimp there, right on the wooden edge.
And you think that's vital in terms of getting that sequencing right to moving up onto the blue?
Yeah, for sure. I think you need it quite a lot. And if you don't get it, I think doing the next movement is so hard.
Tina Jonsson Havsas then next up for us, making it through into the semi-finals from yesterday with a 36 plus and a 36 plus in the qualifying rounds. Here for her attempt at the semi-finals and to see whether we can have her progressing into a final later on. 19 years old from Oslo, world ranked 29th, World Cup ranked 25th at present. Came second just recently at Stavanger in Norway at the European Youth Cup there in the female juniors lead category. Another young youth athlete starting to move out onto the senior circuit. It's something that you and me talk about quite a lot because I know that you're doing it yourself at the moment, Seb.
Yeah.
The difference between the youth comps and moving on to the seniors. I mean, obviously looking at a semi-final at this sort of standard, we're seeing Tina unfortunately.
I think she just slipped out there. What a pity.
But was it a shocking move for you when you first came from the juniors into the seniors? That was a big sort of slap in the face.
Yeah, definitely. It was like some kind of face palm, I would say. Yeah, the level is really different. It's just so much harder. In a youth comp, you know, if you're fit, you're going to do good. But here there are just also many different aspects like of experience. It's lots more tricky and also physically a lot harder. So yeah, for me it was very hard to move from juniors category to the adults.
Well, we are now with our next male athlete, Tomoa Narasaki, here for Japan, making it through to the semi-finals with a 35 and a 44 plus from yesterday. Putting in a couple of good scores there, considering that the routes weren't entirely too long yesterday. There weren't much more to go after the 44th hold. Around about 50 all in all.
He's moving quite fast in that route. I think that's actually quite important, moving on here quite fast, otherwise you get really pumped on those small holds. But it's some kind of tricky because the holds are small, so you still have to move control, but do very fast. Yeah, and here exactly that one.
Yeah, you can see if you move the hand down a little bit further that way, that's the crimp that you're on about there, Seb, yep?
Yeah,
the pink
exactly.
You can see just above the wood.
Just a little bit more to the left. I think it's also quite hard because there's not any tick mark there.
Well, they don't actually have to put it on. That's more of a route setter sort of like encouraging help. That is when they do the little chalk mark, you can see where you've got to strike up. If you can't see it on the wall, you can then often we'll see the route setters putting in a dash of white so that they know where to put their hands and move ahead if they can't see above that point. But I think Jan's being a bit hard on the men today, especially considering we had 12 tied first place positions from yesterday. No help here.
I think this is like some kind of trick for to let a few persons fall a little bit lower.
Well, we've got Cam joining us saying men's route looked nails hard. So we're obviously seeing a lot of people agreeing with you, Seb, saying it looks a bit crazy on this point around the roof. We've got a kind of double crux. That's the interesting thing. Most of these first set of athletes are falling around where the first point you're thinking is like the first difficult moment, but they're straight into a second difficult moment as soon as they've finished it. People joining us on YouTube as well. Toasty saying, is the co-cast Sebastian Helenki? It is Sebastian Helenki. Seb, say hello. Say hello.
Yeah. Look there, those crimps, they're also pretty round on the female route. And I think that's quite hard for them as well. I think the entrance of the female route and the entrance of the male route is a little bit similar, because on both routes you have to move pretty fast forward, but feel controlled, because you could slip out easily on all those holes.
Well, she's about to get up to a potential rest spot for her now around the 22nd, 23rd. That's 22. Matching on this gives you the 23rd. And here's an opportunity for Manuela Sigrist to recoup a little bit of strength before pushing into this increased incline ahead.
Évidemment, si les coureurs ont bien fait leur travail, ils seront que poignés à pouvoir sortir la voie. C'est ce qui serait l'absolu. Allez là, courage!
So now pushing forward after having that little moment to rest up there.
I think for her this movement is quite hard because she's one of the smaller athletes. Whoa.
This is a lot of finger strength being used there, and unfortunately Manuela not quite able to hold on there at the last.
Yeah, I think there it's also quite good. If you're a little bit taller, you have some kind of advantages there because you can extend with the right hand and don't have to go like Manuela.
Still smiling though.
Yeah. That's nice.
Right, getting ready for our next two athletes then. Moving on from now, we will be welcoming Elan Jonas McRae up next and Andrea Cumin. The men's wall seems to have gone silent for a moment here. I'm wondering what's happening, whether they're waiting to just bring someone out or...
No more athletes out.
It looks like some of our officials down on the ground are actually checking something here.
Maybe some turning hold or something like that.
Oh, we'll wait to find out. Looks like we're having a bit of a pause here for the moment. Seb, looking at the list that we have in front of us then, looking at the women's, we've seen our athletes making it up to around about the 32nd. Over 35 is currently the high point, 34 plus that we saw earlier on. Looking at this top section from there on, where do you think the main problems lie from moving from the 35th hold upwards, if you can hold on to that move?
I think actually the move from the 35th to the 36th hold is a quite hard one, and then the next section moving there to the left is quite pumpy, I think, and there you have got this quite big orange hold. I think it's the 40th hold. This is a pretty bad hold, I know it, and from there on you have got very, very, very small crimps, and I think this is going to be the kind of deciding point for to get into finals or missing it out.
So we're looking at a giant orange banana
towards
the top. That's going to be our tricky hold if they manage to get past that crossover. You think there's something here in moving to the 35th hold by swinging the foot out and bridging here to stop that swing, maybe?
Yeah,
on
for
as
sure.
soon as possible.
I think you have to move out quite dynamic, and then you have to stop the swing there with this gray volume. But then I think you maybe have to move backwards here to set the heel hook.
Well, we'll talk you through that one, guys, when we get up to it a little bit later on. At the moment, Andrea Cumin on the first section of the wall, just coming up to her first potential rest point here. We're talking about that move over we saw from our first athlete, Mathilde Romain, earlier on today. Striking out with the right hand, using a lot of shoulder strength there, just couldn't quite hold on to it. And we're talking about that move and the move then past that. We'll go back onto it if we see when we see our next athlete get up to that point now. For now, Elan Jonas McRae, again, you competed with this athlete over in Canada earlier in the year.
Yeah.
His style, what would you suggest in terms of capabilities on this route? Is Elan going to have a good time here or a bit of a tricky time of things?
I think maybe this one is a little bit tricky for him, because I would rather say that he is some kind of endurance-based climber, but you need to do quite hard movements here. I think the slab part he's going to do it quite good, but the roof section is going to be quite hard for him. If he's moving over that one, I think he maybe has quite good potential to move further up. But so far he's still doing quite good here. Now moving into the roof section. I'm quite curious what's going to happen now. Oh, he has got it. Look that, he has got it. The crimp.
So onto the crimp here with Elan Jones-McRae. I was looking at Andrea Humin then for a moment. Some interesting, she got a heel up there. Looked like she was almost going to go for a figure four or something. Elan though moving forward.
He's moving forward quite well. That's good, and I think here he might do a little shakeout. But it's not really good shaking position just for a few times, and then
we saw Thomas Tauporn doing a similar thing and then moving quite quickly onto the next set of blue holes. So this is the second crux now you're talking about. This move out onto the black holes. You can see there on the wall ahead of him.
Wow, he's having a really good run here. Wow.
Moving forward again here. Not half bad at all. A new high point for the men's, and congratulations to Elan Jones-McRae for a fantastic run there. Then he was just moving up to the 31st, I believe, the 31st hold. Possibly the 31st, this one here.
Yeah.
And he managed to get a hand on that one, so I think he'll probably secure that 31st, maybe.
I think he's maybe going to get a 30 plus, yeah. I think so.
30 plus our new high point on the men's then. Moving over onto the women's in just a few seconds with Christina Stutz. So we haven't really seen the top half of either of these walls yet. We're seeing them come pretty close, but still nobody pushing for those tops. Bit of a tricky time of things for these guys.
I'm pretty curious here for the men route, how the other athletes are going to manage the next few movements, because they're really athletic there.
Oh, while we are getting started with Christina Stutz here, I will let Sebastian grab a drink and stop for a second. We'll have a bit of a conversation with our chief route setter here, Jan Spranek. Jan, how are you?
Very good.
How's it going for you?
Well, so far so good. I hope they will come a little bit higher, but the best climbers are still to come, so yeah, I'm not nervous yet.
Well, it's definitely working out as I would say you'd want it to with the men's we're seeing here. A definite, it's like Seb spotted straight away. He said it's like there's a double crux here. You've got the one that moving up from the first roof round to the left-hand side. Another one then as you're starting to move over to the right onto the black holes on the orange at the top there. Talk to me about the style of this route here. What have you tried to achieve?
Well, as you can see, the route is very short, so it has basically two boulder problems. The first one goes on the pink part of the wall into the roof. There is a really hard section to reach for the climbers, and straight after you have the few blue holes where you can rest a little bit. So the strong climbers, even if they make a little mistake in the first part, they can rest, recover, focus on the big yellow roof, because the yellow roof is one big boulder problem all the way to the top, and it gets just harder and harder. So yeah, well, it looks like Thomas was close to the top. He had maybe 10 or 11 moves to go, but it's still very far away, and I think we will challenge the top climbers. And yeah, to be honest, we were guessing to have two tops, so hopefully it will be something around that.
In terms of grading then for this one, as we're just getting started with Loic Timmermans now, the grading for this one, what would you give us as an estimate?
We were talking about it, and we all said it's hard 8C. It's not 8C plus, but it's very short, very intense, and just the last 10 moves, it gives the grade really high in the 8C level.
It's a very, very difficult semi-final round. It's nice to see it because it's like you're giving them a shock in the semi-finals, and it's going to really throw them in terms of what you've got in store for the finals for them later on tonight. Are we going to be seeing you step the bar up even harder for the finals tonight?
The men's final is again quite short, but it's all relative. It has still 40-45 moves. It's not a boulder problem, but it's very, very physical compared to the other competitions, let's say in Pours or at IMSS, when you have to use your stamina, you can recover. Over here you cannot recover much, so in the semi-final we still gave them the jug in the middle, but in the final it will be much harder to rest, and you just go from the beginning to the end, and the moves get just harder and harder, and yeah, hopefully we'll get some nice results and nice show for the people here.
We're definitely seeing some interesting results already on the men's. Let's go over to the women's for a moment then. We've established we're looking at a hard 8C, not an 8C plus, but a hard 8C. Going over onto the women's, we got this nice rest point under the first roof here that the women, around 22, 23, they hold there. They're finding that moment quite nicely. Moving up onto the pink sort of snake volumes you've got on there, that crossover looks like an extremely tough shoulder movement over onto that one there. We've seen it stop Mathilde Romain already. What have you intended here for this route for the women?
Well, with the women, the first part is just a technical, just a warm-up. Then you mentioned the rest below the first rooflet. It's more than the rest, it's for the safety issues, to clip the second quick draw in the steep part of the wall, because from this point the holes get smaller and it's more intense. So if the girls would keep climbing without clipping over there, we were a little bit worried if they fall they may get hurt. So the hole is slopey, they are resting, but if you have a look on the close-up, they are not resting too much over there. You know, that they try to choke up, but yeah, they are still getting more and more pumped. So longer they stay, the more pump they get. It's not exactly jack over there. And then you climb to the next rooflet, and we were expecting to have some problems over there, because with females somehow always where is the angle change, they always have some problems. So we were spending a long time at night on this section. We were making it easier and harder and easier and harder. I think it won't be a big problem for the top 10 athletes, but they are already quite high, so I'm quite happy to see them struggling and falling over there. Hope not all of them at one spot.
You sound like an evil genius. I'm quite happy to see them struggling and falling. Moving on from that point there, so obviously you got that shoulder move out to the right, swinging the feet out to stop your swing too much, and then moving up onto where this green section is here, the top part of the wall here. What's the main problem with this point? Have you done a similar thing with the men's, that you're expecting it to just get harder and harder from that point, and only a few of them managing the top?
The thing with the female here, we have two very, very strong climbers, and they are fighting for the overall lead for the World Cup. It's Chan Kim and Mina. And we are trying to basically see what's in them, how much endurance and how much finger strength do they have, and if we can split them in the semi-finals, so we don't have to be under the pressure for the final round, because sometimes it happens then we cannot split them, they top all the climbs or they fall on the same spot in the final, which can easily happen with little mistake of the route setting, and we don't want them to be split on time, because it's nice to see how hard they can actually climb and not how fast they can actually climb. So we set the top of this climb to be basically from the big orange hold over the green pockets, just very resistant, very, very hard. And the last four move is just a 7B plus boulder problem, and none of the route setters could do it. So hopefully they won't be so strong and they won't do it too.
Grading for this one overall, what would you give it as an estimate?
This is because given the little pockets and little edges on the top, it's a female style route. So for the male, it's super hard, 8B plus. For the female, I would say it's 8B plus but climbable.
So not an 8C for the men's. Are we going for a hard 8C on the men's?
Hard 8C for the men's, and for me, hard 8B plus for the women.
For the women's, a hard 8B plus.
Yes.
Jan, thank you very much. Will you come back and talk to us for the finals?
Definitely.
I'm looking forward to it. You got me excited now.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward too.
Thank you, Jan. I'm going to let you go. Well, that was your chief route setter, Jan Zabranek, and that gives you the gradings on the routes. Nice to have a catch-up with him. Interesting point. I don't know whether you were hearing that then, Seb, because I know you were having a bit of a rest-up, but he was saying the last 4 or 5 moves on the women's wall here is basically a 7B plus boulder problem, and none of the route setters could do it.
Whoa.
So we're looking at something exciting even when they get up to the top. Well, here we have this next move across then. We've got Barbara Backer at it at the moment.
Yeah.
Unfortunately coming down there, but that red there, and you can see the hemisphere just next to it, that's the move with the shoulder out with the right, and then swinging the feet across onto the hemisphere to block that swing a little bit. That's the move that we were talking about a little bit earlier.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, this one's looking quite hard, and I think a 7B plus boulder problem, it's super hard for a female route. I think you could even set something like that on the male route.
At the very top.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like...
Yeah, definitely.
They're obviously taking no prisoners for this one. A good effort there from Loic Timmermans a few moments ago. I think, was it a 30 plus again? It looked like a 30 plus from Loic. The same move that Elan came down at.
Yeah, it was exactly the same move.
So we get ready to bring out our next 2 athletes then. Moving on now to Katja Kadik. And we'll also be welcoming Naoki Shimatani. Our next 2 out here. And another interesting point that Jan was saying, just because they have 2 very strong athletes that are pushing for the World Cup overall title, here the semi-finals has been geared towards finding out just what level of climbing they're at and trying to make sure that they can split them somehow. And that's probably why we've got the boulder at the top, because Jan doesn't want it to go to time.
Yeah, I think it's pretty important right now to split the persons, because they're, I think, 11 or 12 double tops. I'm not so sure after qualifications.
Oh, for the men's there were 12
Yeah.
top tied, and for the women's just 4.
Just 4.
Yeah. But we've seen more and more often, we've seen quite frequently, we've seen Kim Jae-in, Mina Markovic tied all the way back to qualifications. Maybe it was the last 4 or 5 events. It's happened every single time. So this is important now, that at this late stage in the year, we don't want to be relying on time. We want to see it being an effort of the climb itself.
Definitely. That's lots more interesting.
And we've got to split them anyway, because they're just so close. In fact, they are that close that if you take into account their overall scores, at the moment we have Kim Jae-in on 525 points, Mina Markovic on 515 points, but it gets better. But if you were to then minus their lowest score, because as we know, we drop one of those results at the end. If you were to take away both of their lowest score from the year and their worst results, they're actually on exactly the same amount of points. So it is basically whoever beats the other one from now on takes the overall title.
That's crazy. They're just dominating so much. The female category,
we couldn't really ask for a closer competition.
Yeah,
and the other great thing is that we're seeing a similar thing with the 3rd place in the women's as well. Momoka Oda. Momoka still has the ability to almost start challenging the other 2 athletes if they were to have a really bad time.
Yeah, but that's,
I mean, it would have to be a terrible set of results for both of the 2 of them. But Momoka's looking a little bit on edge as well in 3rd place because of our 4th and 5th positions, which are Magdalena Roig and Ellen Janicko. Both of those could be challenging Magdalena for the 3rd. So for the women's, we're looking at a very intense final push at the end of the year.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be interesting. Whoa. The Japanese guy having some troubles there.
Not quite on the hold there. A little bit risky here. It's looking like he's got he's been able to spot it by leaning out a little bit more here.
This is pumping so much.
Yeah, he's going to be getting tired now. So that was slapping up there to try and get a hand onto the 24th he was going for there.
Yeah. He was moving to the 24th one, so he is going to have a 23 plus. And here the Slovenian female athlete, Katja, another very young athlete, I would say. Moving up here. fighting for the next moves.
Really fighting here, Katja.
Yeah, but she's having a good fight. Also one of the younger athletes, I just mentioned it.
So we're looking at a 31 plus there for Katja Kadik. Trying to get up onto the first section of this 32 through 34 long hold here. Kim Jabi qualifying relatively low here at this event. We've seen Kim Jabi in boulder comps, Chongqing last year, coming 6th, ending up in the final there. We've seen him have pretty good runs, but over the past maybe 3-4 World Cups, he's not been having a good time.
Yeah, that's true. A few times he missed out actually in semi-finals.
Jabi, obviously Kim Yain's brother.
So now I'm curious how he's going to do in that route. Maybe if he likes bouldering, this route should be quite a good one for him.
Katarina Salvain then here, another boulderer, predominantly a boulder athlete, prefers the boulder discipline, but has also been climbing lead here. Katja could be doing something interesting if she can keep the endurance up to the point where she hits that 34 to 35 cross with the shoulders.
Yeah, theoretically that should be good for her if she's still fresh enough and not too pumped yet. She should be feeling comfortable in those bouldering movements.
The other interesting thing that Jan was saying earlier was that actually this rest here is more of a safety issue with the second clip. Making sure that, because when they're moving on to the next set of holes, they're quite crimpy, quite small, could be quite a dangerous fall and swing out for them. So they've got this first and the second clip just ahead of them here. But actually the rest here, you're still, he said you're still pumping here. It's not actually that good a rest around that moment. So. She's moved past it already. She's going to need to clip here.
Yeah, and it's also not quite common that there are good resting positions in semi-final routes. And, well, I would even say in general in World Cup routes, there are almost never good resting positions.
Heel hook away from the wall here as well. Now that's going to put some pressure on those shoulders already. She's managed to hold it.
I think also this cross movement there, for her it was looking really easy, but many persons were having their troubles there.
You see a bit of a shake setting into the legs here now with a lot of pressure to keep her on the wall at this moment. Now tried to get a heel hook in that corner, couldn't quite get it. I believe that will give her a 32 though.
And Jabi Kim having a really good fight here. Now the next hold is undercling.
A good effort for Kim Jabi.
Yeah, Kim Jabi was again falling on the 30 plus. Not quite reaching the 31st hold. I think this is also some kind of crux movement, as I just realized it. Many persons were already falling there, but I think it's because it's the 31st hold, it's some kind of crimp, a round crimp, it's not quite positive. The hold before as well, it's some kind of slopey undercling. So it's quite hard to move out of that position when you're already pretty pumped on your core, and the small holds before were pumping your forearms quite a lot. So I think this movement is quite a crux.
So we've definitely found both of our cruxes on the routes here. We've found our one on the men's, we've found our one on the women's at the moment, and the most interesting thing for me at that point is that we actually haven't seen the final quarter of the wall yet.
Yeah.
We've seen no one get up to that point, and obviously we were talking about that boulder problem at the end of the women's. You've said yourself, and also Jan said about the men's final few moves, very similar situation. It only gets harder from that second crux towards the top.
Yeah.
A lot of crimps there at the top, and making sure that you have the energy to carry on. What I think the skill here, the thing that's a hats off from me to Jan, and the thing that we should appreciate is that this is a 13.5 meter wall, and he's exhausting the men about halfway here. He's only using maybe 7 meters of wall to get them so pumped, so much in a difficult situation, that they're really having to fight even on a shorter wall here.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's a tricky balance to get something like that right with setting.
But I think it's quite interesting to watch. I'm finding it personally better than seeing a very, very long route where all the athletes take 5-6 minutes and they just get pumped by endurance. Here you've just got a few movements, just a few bouldery, tricky and powerful movements, and those separate all the athletes. I think it's quite interesting to watch.
Just tip you over the edge as soon as possible to make sure that from that point on you're really happy to fight for every single hold.
Yeah.
So Manon Healy about to approach that seemingly a rest move, although Jan's saying it's not really a rest move. It's quite an evil thing to do, really. It's like a lure.
Yeah.
You want to go and have some time to rest there, but I don't know whether it's the angle that they're on, and maybe I think it's not too positive underneath.
No.
So they're having to keep the pressure. And,
I
and
think
really
so.
kind
It's
of
like some kind of
press
slope.
in. Yeah.
And I'm really curious here about Haiyan Binmin, how he's going to manage that route. I mean, he is for sure a finalist. Well, more than a potential finalist.
He's one of the strongest climbers in the season.
Definitely.
I think he's currently fifth, I think, on the world rankings overall. We missed him obviously at some of the China competitions, but that was after taking a silver at Mokpo this year, and he won Mokpo 2012. A definite contender here. Yeah, Min's currently in 6th on the overall World Cup rankings for this year.
I think this route is going to be his style, actually. He should do quite good in that one.
Well, he looks very comfortable at this moment. He doesn't look like there's too much of a shake there at all. That was a massive dynamic move there.
Yeah, that was really risky.
It was impressive more than anything as well. I'm just going to take a jump here because I want to.
But he's just got so much maximal power, so that was not any problem for him. And he's just still looking really relaxed, not pumped at all.
Potentially doing that dynamically and not static, that could have actually saved him some energy here.
Yeah, I think so. If you take some risk here, it can really save a lot of power.
Exceptionally strong lead climber. It'd be great to see him in the finals. I think after Mokpo and losing out on his championship title from Mokpo 2012. And then missing out in China as well, giving some of the other athletes an opportunity to get forward into those events.
Look from where he is clipping here. There you can just see the power difference from him to the other persons. Yeah, from that small crimp on the left. Yeah, and that movement was really looking safe.
Straight on to 31st here. This is looking really good for Min, and he's looking still so in control at the moment. There's no real shake going on here.
I think that move is going to be quite hard. Well, but he's doing it easy, so never mind. Here, bad sloper.
Power on the left hand there. Ooh. Slipping and still managing to hold on. Min Kyung-bin here in Valence.
Wow.
Oh, I'd love to see a top here. This would be incredible.
Yeah, for sure. He's got so much power.
Currently now on the 36th hold here,
Really
really 45. You can see the top from this angle, Min Hyun-bin.
And he's still chalking there. Crazy climbing.
Fighting over the final lip here of this 8C level difficulty semi-final route. Come on, Min, you got to hold that.
Really strong. Wow. What a nice climbing. Let's hope we can see a top here.
Tiny, tiny holes.
Whoa.
Unbelievable. But what an effort there. The crowd are going mental for that. Absolutely incredible. That's what we live for. That's what we come to these things to see. Somebody just raising the bar and just refusing to come down. You see those tiny, tiny crimps at the last moment
Yeah,
there.
they're almost not visible anymore.
And just constantly just pouring his way through those last few. At that point there, we were seeing him up, I believe, onto the 42nd and 43rd hole.
Yeah, exactly.
So somewhere around 42, 43. Have a total of 45. You know, 3 moves potentially away from a top there. Incredible effort from Min Hyun-bin.
Yeah.
Let's hope and pray that that's enough to see him through into the final.
Yeah, but I'm actually quite sure about that.
Well, if he's performing at that caliber, he should be, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, the other thing to take into consideration when you're saying you're pretty sure it will be, I mean, look at who we've still got yet to come. Ondra's back in the game, for one. We've got Urban, who made finals just recently as well. Thomas Johannes is more than capable of putting in a good effort here. Thomas Ballet, Stefano Ghisolfi, Domen Skopitz.
Yeah, definitely also one of the favorites here.
And then we've got people like Gauthier Super, and then we're into the usuals. We're into McCall, Ramon de Grange, Manuel Ramon. We're into Ramone, Schubert, and Abba. I mean, we've got a potential here that he could still be in a risky position.
Yeah, that's quite true. That's for sure true.
Let's hope. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, let's cross our fingers for him. But for sure, that was an amazing go from him.
Climbing in Slovenia, getting in touch, just saying what a dyno by Min Hyun. You know, I mean, that itself was worthy of getting the top. I think, you know, we wanted him from that moment on. It was like, come on, you've got to do something here.
Yeah,
Incredible climbing.
Also, Tina looking still quite strong here. I think Tina also here, one of our potential top 10 climbers maybe. She already had this year some very good go. I remember in IMS she was 11th. So it will be quite interesting to see her further go. But she's still looking quite good. Trying to find a little rest here. But I think it's not a quite comfortable position to rest because it might be like a quite kind of big hole, but it's too pretty negative.
Got the heel hook in though, which we've seen cost a few of the athletes. She's jamming in another one there. She's doing foot jams.
Yeah.
Foot jams. I've not seen foot jams before. I've seen hand jams, but I've not seen a foot jam. The incredible strength on her pinch there as she was moving across. You could see she was trusting it. She felt comfortable enough to do it. Took effort, but managed to do it. This is good as well. This is strong here.
That was good.
And there it is. There's the lean out. This is the movement we were talking about earlier. Getting over there. This is a new high point now on the women's wall.
Wow, this movement is going to be so hard. And she's
36.
managed to do it.
Feet now up on top of the, over onto the pink.
That's
up to
really
37.
good.
This is 37 now for Tina
And
Sesterzi.
she's got still strength in her forearms.
Not really that much of a shake in the left hand either. This is impressive here.
Yeah, she's having such a good go. Yeah, finally the clip in. Oh no, just missed it out a bit.
And I think that was literally just an accuracy thing more than anything. If she'd landed that and managed to get the fingers in, she'd know that she'd have enough strength to hold on.
Yeah, definitely.
It was just the slip and swinging out, bringing her off the wall, but an incredible effort there from her. That's a 37 plus, which is our new high point on the women's.
But she had a really nice go here.
Suminita, unfortunately, being defeated by the first crooks on the wall here. We get ready to bring out our next two athletes. Climbing in Slovenia saying go, 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 Tina Sesterzik. Very, very impressive. And Cam getting in touch as well saying, proving to be the most exciting semi-final of the season so far.
Yeah.
I think I'm with you on that one, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, she had a really nice go there. It's really just such a pity she missed this hold. I think she still could have climbed a few movements further.
Okay, Yuka Kobayashi next up for the female athletes here. Yuka we've seen at the bouldering as well, so this could be another one like Katja Sarmine, that if she can keep some of that energy up at this point on the wall, she'd be able to come into her own a little bit with that bouldering style.
Yeah, I think so. It should be, or it could be at least, quite her style.
And on
it will
the
be
men's,
really exciting to see her up there on those crux movements.
Yeah. On the men's, we're up with Francesco Vetterata now for Italy. In terms of his climbing style, what are we thinking on this one, Seb? Is he going to have a good time of this?
Well, it's quite hard to rate that for me. I think he has quite a good technique and climbing intelligence, so I think he could manage to get there the crimp instead of just the edge. And I think if he does that, he will have a quite good go on the rest of the route. But maybe those kind of athletic movements might be a little bit hard for him. But let's hope and wish him best.
So both these athletes just starting off here then. Yuka's had a pretty good season on the lead so far, but frequently making semi-finals, just fighting to try and make it into the finals, and quite frequently ending up in 9th place or 10th or 11th, 12th. It'd be great to see Yuka through to a final at this late stage in the game. Francesco Vetterata, very strong athlete for Italy, up there with Stefano Ghisolfi as the guys that are more than capable of making frequent semi-finals.
Yeah, I think Francesco is a really, really strong climber, and also his qualification wrestles were already sometimes, I think, some top 6 wrestled for sure. So for sure he has more than just the potential to reach finals, and let's hope he will do it.
Let's have a bit of let's establish our normal game then, Seb. First top, who do we think on men and women? Looking at who's coming out from here, we have Thomas Johannes after this, then Urban Primozic, and then it's Adam Ondra. Do we think he's going to be giving us our first top today?
Yeah, maybe he could top this route. I'm not so sure about him at the moment because lately, well, in the last 2 years he hasn't done any World Cup. So it will be hard to rate how fit he is at the moment, but yesterday in qualifications he was looking very solid, so maybe I think he does have the potential to top that route. For sure he has got the power for it, he is very great at bouldering, so let's see if his endurance will be enough for that. But I could imagine, yeah.
For the women's, looking at who's going to be coming out next, I mean, if none of these, if Yuka doesn't manage to get a good score in here, for me, my money's on actually Jessica Pills. I'm not going to rule her out of it at all. She's 17th out. We're currently on Yuka Kobayashi, who is our 12th athlete, so 5 climbers left to go. But Jessica has just been so strong this year. She's currently the European Youth Champion. She's currently the World Youth Champion as well. It'll be, unfortunately, just took the hand up a little bit too early there before getting the feedback on there from Francesco, but was still looking pretty strong at that point there. I think just a mistake of just taking the right hand off.
Yeah, well, maybe his core power left a little bit, I think, because he was moving on there quite fast and his feet were swinging out, and I think his core power just kind of left a little bit. And I think that's pretty important there for this bouldery section. You need a lot of core power.
Yuka, still, like we saw from our last athlete, Tina Susterzik, looking pretty much okay here at the moment.
Yeah, she's looking really relaxed, really solid.
Finding a rest as well, which is nice. You said that you thought you might see a rest around here.
I think actually the least persons could rest here. All the persons were trying to move on very fast, and she's still looking solid.
She definitely took her time there at that point. She's really used that opportunity to gather a little bit of extra strength before pushing on, and unfortunately...
Whoa, I didn't expect that at all.
No, I don't think she did either. She definitely didn't expect that to happen at that point, because that fall was very awkward for her then, actually.
Yeah.
She wasn't expecting to come off there. I think just a slip at that moment, and that was again around the 37th hold here. Our high point is 37 plus at the moment by Tina Susterzik, so Tina's actually in a better position than Yuka. Yuka one hole behind her there. As we get ready to welcome Thomas Johannes here, and our next female athlete out will be Aya Onoe.
And about Thomas Johan, I'm pretty curious here how he's going to do. I've been competing with him this year at the World Youth Championship in Canada, one of my big rivals there. Very strong climber. Having lots of endurance for sure.
So we're seeing Thomas Johannes as an endurance-based climber then. So this is, you think this is going to be an interesting one for him? This is the kind of thing that he should be able to cope with, keeping the power, making it up until that point?
Yeah, well I think, oh no.
Now that was a slip.
Yeah.
So you're still right in saying the endurance. That was an unfortunate slip there.
Yeah, well, for sure it was not about his endurance there. I think he just didn't feel quite comfortable in that movement. And I think it is actually a quite uncomfortable movement, this cross movement. You've got pretty small crimps, also not really positive ones. And a few persons, I realized they were some kind of, having some kind of troubles there, but they just managed to do it and could move on. But he, I think, also got kind of blocked there when he felt it was uncomfortable, and he climbed up, down, and kind of switched down his head, I would say.
Aya Onoe here then, now with a 45 and a 43 plus yesterday in the qualifying rounds. She qualified in 14th place. So about midway now, we're about midway through our semi-final. She's only 18 years old, world ranked 26th. She came 12th at the Women's Bouldering World Cup in Munich at the end of the year this year. She actually competed at most of the bouldering year. And also remember, if you look back at Innsbruck, that was her first final on the IFSC senior year. I can remember her just being like overcome with emotion after that one. I don't know whether it was because she was sad because she ended up in 6th place after the finals and didn't feel like she'd done well enough, or whether she was just overcome by the fact that she'd made a finals, but she was definitely deserving of a place in that finals there. Yeah. So strong throughout Innsbruck, and had been frequently ending up in relatively good positions on the bouldering anyway. I mean, she was in 19th place at Log Dragomer. She then had a 6th place at Innsbruck, and then she managed an 11th and a 10th place at Valence, Toronto. This is then before going over to the female juniors lead at the World Youth Championship, so still competing at the World Youth whilst making boulder finals for the senior event, and then back for another bouldering and coming 12th at Munich. So I think next year for Aya Onoe is going to be a very important year. She can then capitalise on how her performances have been this year on the bouldering, and start to really become a little bit more comfortable with pushing for those final positioning. 18 years old.
Yeah, also very young athlete. So still a lot of potential there.
Looking at her lead results, then we've seen her at Inzai and Mokpo 2012. She came 14th at Mokpo, 16th at Inzai, so making the semi-finals in a comfortable way. We've definitely seen an increase in her performances this year on the senior circuit in the bouldering, and this is a bouldery route. So if she's got the endurance here, much like Katharina Sarwein, much like we are going to see from Mikia Noguchi later on, this could be the kind of style that she'd be comfortable working with.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think already the next few movements are pretty bouldery, so if she likes that bouldery style, it should be good for her. Yeah, moving on straight forward here. Now I see her also probably taking a little rest. And there you can also see the persons that are able to rest here are also the persons with more maximal power. The persons who don't have that much maximal power, they're just not able to rest on such a bad hold because it's pretty slopey. And this double hook is really nice.
The foot jump.
Yeah. Oh. And I think that was actually the wrong hold, the wrong hand on that hold.
She got herself in a tricky position there, and she was trying to keep moving.
Yeah.
She needed to take a bit of time, considering she'd just rested. She needed to take a little bit of time there, sorting out her positioning. She had the ability to do it. I mean, it's not a particularly comfortable position to be in, but with that foot on the lean out there and another foot over on the other one, she could have taken a bit of time readjusting before moving ahead, possibly just rushing a little bit too much.
Yeah, for sure. But I think those things, they improve just by experience. So the next years, with the next competitions, it's going to be much better for her because she will know when to climb how. Yeah, this is mainly a thing of experience, which I've also experienced a lot.
Okay, so we're having a route clean at the moment. Just a few moments while our setters get up here, and as we are around the halfway point, make sure that everything's fine and equal for the second half of our athletes. Welcome to all of you if you are joining us here. Molly Thompson-Smith saying, routes look awesome. I especially love the bright pink holds. And nice to have you back with us, Molly. Also, Susan Jervis saying, I had no idea Ondra was climbing at this event. What a gift. I'm still cheering for Sean McCall. Climbing in Slovenia, saying really great climbing by Tina Sosterzik. Bravo. Absolutely. I think from everyone here, we were well aware that she was so strong there. It was an accuracy thing more than anything. But guys, on that comment from Susan here saying, I had no idea Ondra was competing, whilst we're having this route cleaning for a moment, we're going to take a brief break and we're going to show you an interview that we had with Adam Ondra from yesterday. So here is a little bit of a catch up with Adam. Well, I have the pleasure of having a bit of a conversation with Adam Ondra. It's been a while and we've never had a proper conversation before. So Adam, welcome. Thank you for talking to us.
Yeah. Hello.
How are you?
I'm very good. It's been quite a change of lifestyle for me recently. I just started studying and started going into the gym again, doing a bit of training. So, but you know, it's fun. It's definitely good to do something else.
Do you notice a big difference between climbing on rock and switching back onto plastic? Is it a bit of a shock for you to switch your style?
Yes, totally. Even though when I'm climbing outdoors, I still do train indoor, but the training is different, you know? It's more like I do mostly bouldering when I'm training for outdoor projects, because outdoors, when I'm climbing a really hard route, it's more about doing a really hard moves with some decent rests in between, whereas for the comps like these, you definitely need to be very fit.
It's the endurance side of things that comes into it again.
And this fitness is very hard to maintain while climbing outdoors.
Talk to me a little bit about the projects you're working on at the moment. We're talking about Flat Anger and you're doing a lot of stuff there. I know you've got this movie about to come out as well.
Yeah.
Talk to me about what you've been doing.
Well, I've been just hanging around in Norway and occasionally got to climb, you know, just have a good time. Well, there's been a lot in Norway, and especially in this cave. I bolted maybe 12 routes this year, and I think I sent everything that I was able to send, and there are about 4 routes left which were possible in a way, as I could do all the moves, but at that moment I just was not strong enough. So it's definitely a good challenge that is left behind, but I definitely want to come back at a certain point in the future.
Is that your most favorite aspect of climbing, being out there and setting something no one's done before, establishing a route that then can be open for other people? Is that something that you get the biggest buzz from?
Well, I get a satisfaction from many aspects of climbing, but it's definitely one of the most important things. And it's at the same time, it's when you really feel like creating something. At the same time, it's something that was created by nature, but at the same time, it's your initiative to find it, and it's adventurous to finding the things. And you know, the curiosity when you get to bolt something, and you can see the holes, you touch the holes that has never been touched before. It's really cool.
I suppose it's quite primordial. Yeah. You get to go back to nature, just you out there and
especially being in such a cool venue like Norway is just something that I've never seen before, and that's why I'm so motivated to stay there so long.
So how much time are you having to devote to the university side of things now? Are you getting enough time, or would you like to be able to find more to climb? Are you finding a nice balance between those two things?
Well, going to university is definitely good balance for training for the comps and going to the comps. I need to go to school about 3 days a week, so there's plenty of time left to really do some proper training and do whatever it is required.
It'd be quite tough jumping over to Norway though in between those breaks, right?
Sure, it's hard to fly to Norway for a weekend, so if I want to climb outdoors, even though I'm not planning to do it that much, I just have to go for weekends and to the destinations which are a bit closer to my home.
Now, the last time that I saw you, although we didn't actually meet there, was at Bercy, the World Championships in Paris. How did you find the experience of being at the World Championships after taking a bit of time away to climb on rock and then coming back into it again? Was it a good experience for you?
Well, it was a good experience. Maybe I had expected to do a bit better, but at the same time I could see that I was not just strong enough for it. But at the same time it was like, I could realize that for the next season, if I want to do really well on the comps, I should really train properly for it. So I just left the competitions for a while and focus on the rock, and now I want to come back and really dedicate myself.
Can I take that as a promise? We're going to be seeing you more and more now?
Sure, next season I will participate at all World Cup lead stages and some of them in bouldering.
Is that an exclusive? Can we say that that's an exclusive to this program? You've just announced your return to sport climbing, yeah?
Well, I think I had already announced it before, but everybody who is listening, really, that's not fake, that's true.
That's fantastic. How are you assessing the groundwork for next year then? We're looking at 3 or 4 athletes here that are consistently putting in the top performances. We're looking at Sakchiyama, Jakob Schubert, Ramoneo is always consecutively strong. Are you looking forward to that challenge for you? Is that going to be something that, you know, next year is like, let's do it, let's get on it?
Totally. Yeah. That's why I'm psyched for joining the World Cup circuit again.
And last and by no means least, when are we going to see this movie? When is the movie coming out? Have we got a release date? Are we going to see it?
It's hard to say the release date, but for sure, whatever happens, it has to be finished by Christmas, and that's it.
Adam, I wish you all the best of luck through this comp, and thank you for chatting to us. I'm looking forward to next year and a whole load more interviews.
Yeah, me too. Bye.
Thank you. Adam Ondra, thank you. So not too long now then, guys. Nice to have a bit of a catch-up with Adam yesterday. And let's hope that he goes well through the semi-finals here today and we can see him in a final on his first comeback into the IFSC. Saying that he's going to start to do all of the competitions next year. Well, that's his intention anyway, a return to sports climbing. The Ultimate Shoe getting in touch saying, Adam is so cool. Him being back is the only reason I'm watching this. That's a bit of a slap in the face. Well, hopefully you're enjoying the semi-finals so far. I think it's definitely been an exciting one to start things off here. We're seeing one of the most exciting semi-finals in a long time, I think.
Yeah, definitely. It's a really interesting one. And I'm really curious about Adam Ondra now, being back on stage of the World Cup. It's going to be interesting to see him again.
And as he was saying in that interview as well, you know, even when he is out on rock, he is obviously training in a gym on the downtime as well, with being at university, not being able to get out that often. That's something that obviously you are very aware of as well, Seb.
Yeah.
But he is still training in a gym and doing a lot of bouldering as well. So actually this could be quite interesting for him.
Yeah, I think so. And as he has got a lot of maximal power, this route might be quite his style, I think. And actually, you have to know, just about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I have been in Brno, in his hometown, and training there a little bit. So I know more or less on where he's training.
With him?
No, not with him.
Well, it looks like we are about ready to get things started again here. I think that's Urban down on the ground, about to start things off, and there's Maya as well, about to start on the women. So we'll take you back over to the action now. Nice little break there while they were cleaning the wall. And we get ready to move forward. I was having a chat just a few moments ago with Matthew, who has been one of our chief route setters throughout this year and is also on the team here with Jan Zabranik, and I was talking to him and Tony, who is Ramonet's trainer, about the differences in the walls that we've seen throughout the year, the differences in setting and how that's changed throughout the year as well, and how nice it is here to actually have a shorter wall that's forcing these routes to be the way that they are at the moment by having these, you know, early pump sections. It's exciting even from the off, really, for these sorts of walls. We're not seeing a really long route that's only got the exciting point at the top. We're seeing a lot of interesting positioning and at the very start of the route. These guys are having to conserve energy from the beginning. Very technical beginning for the women's. And for the guys, I mean, yesterday we saw that sort of like flash pump sort of setup on the route that we were covering yesterday. Today we're seeing this roof be the first serious problem for them, but it's not actually that high off the ground. I mean, Urban is maybe 5-6 moves away from getting into that roof section already now. We're seeing some really good setting here.
Yeah, that's true. The routes are a very interesting set. And I'm really curious who is or which persons are going to join the finals. I think maybe we are even going to see a few surprises here today, as the routes are a bit kind of uncommon compared to how the routes have been lately. So it will be quite interesting. And now about Urban Primocic, I'm really curious how he is going to do. I know him already a few years of the youth competitions, have been also competing with him in the youth, but well, he has been always like, I think 2 or 3 years older than me. But I know him already for a while and have been training with him and the other Slovenian guys already in some climbing gym close to Kran. They're all quite nice, so I'm really curious. I wish him best of luck.
Well, we saw Urban in his first final for quite a long time over in China just recently. Wu Yang making it through in the first final that Domen missed out on this year. Domen had a run of making every single final in the World Cup season so far for this year, and just unfortunately missed out after another heel hook mishap in China. That was the second for him after Perm as well. Not managing to make it through, but Urban did. And did quite well in the finals in Wu Yang as well.
Urban did really well there.
So we can definitely see some potential here for Urban to try and do the same thing again, push forward. And another interesting fact about the Slovenians, both of these athletes actually, training at the same gym in Slovenia that we've been and visited last year. It's a boulder-only gym. I think that's worth bearing in mind when you see these guys that are climbing lead. Also, Mina climbs predominantly on just a boulder-only gym. They do these circuits, 70-plus moves. They have to memorize them straight away. I had to go with it. I was terrible because I've got Manu there saying, Roman there saying, okay, it's this move onto this one, onto this one, onto this one. You have to memorize 70 moves, and he refuses to go through it again. So these guys have to be quick to adapt their style to the way that their trainer trains them.
Oh yeah, I know this quite well. Me training on my home wall on 15 square meters, and also just the same, doing all the time like 60 move boulders and always memorizing. I think right now just about thinking of it, I'm for sure about 10 lines in my mind. Wow.
Now this is going to get interesting. There's the banana hold that you said that you've climbed on yourself and you hate. Well, she's gone straight past that and gone into these sort of wide pockets here, and unfortunately coming down, but a fantastic effort there from Maja Vidmar. The Slovenians are really putting on a show here. Tina Sesterzik, we've seen Urban come out and do well. Maja's just come out and raised the bar even further, over onto the 42nd hold here for Maja Vidmar. The Slovenians are really putting on a good show, and Mina Markovic as well, another athlete for Slovenia, still yet to come. Right at the top of the overall rankings. We look forward to seeing how she's going to get on here as well with that mixed boulder lead style we're seeing develop through the semi-finals. Next up though, after that interview we've just had, we had a bit of a chat with Adam Ondra, we're going to take you over to the man himself now, about to come out at the bottom of the wall for the men's. Our next male athlete, Adam Ondra. I know a lot of you guys are tuning in to watch this one. We'll see how he gets on with his semi-final climb. Now this is what we said we thought would be our first top on the men's. This is what we were expecting to be our first top.
Yeah, now it's really interesting. How is he going to do here? I think the last time he competed here in Valence was in 2009 at the World Youth Championship, where I actually had my first win, and he did his third title, I think, at that time in the male youth A. So now let's see what he's going to do here 4 years later.
Well, he needs very little introduction. Adam Ondra, he is the big name. Only 20 years old as well, Adam Ondra. We saw him, well, last time we really saw him on the IFSC-based events was the World Championships in Bercy last year, where he came third overall. Took the bronze medal there.
Yeah, and he is one of the climbers who are moving straight past in the route. It's so crazy to see him, and still technical, so precise and varied. He's got a really effective climbing style.
Straight out onto that crimp, knew it was there, moved out to it with very little difficulty here. He's about to go up to the blue hold here in a potential moment to rest.
And he is still looking very relaxed there.
Completely comfortable at this stage on the wall. Nicky van Bergen as well for the Netherlands out now on the women's wall.
And doesn't rest at all. Just moving straight forward.
Okay, so has managed the first crux, has now pushed past onto the second.
And he is still looking very good.
A lot of support from down on the ground for this 20-year-old athlete from the Czech Republic. Adam Ondra here.
Doesn't look pumped at all.
Heel hook here on the arête, trying to get onto that one. Big reach over to the side.
Yeah, he's still looking so strong.
That's the 36th he has there at the moment. 36th hold with the left hand, 37th now up with the right. Starting to push into Min Hyun Bin's territory.
Now I'm curious.
40th hold here now. Now these are the crimps we saw Min Hyun Bin having a tricky time of things with, and here we see Ondra doing the same up to a 41, which means that Min Hyun Bin still has the high point here on the wall. It is enough so far by the look of things to see Adam through into the finals.
Yeah.
And interesting though to see him just suddenly struggling there with that cross move. Not looking comfortable at the last moment there, but a fantastic effort from Adam Ondra. Let's hope that that's enough to see him through to the finals. A good attempt there as well from Nikki van Bergen. We're seeing that being pretty much the high point for the women's, crossing over from 37 to 38, which is where she was, around the 37 plus mark on the wall. Very good effort from Nikki van Bergen as well.
And here in that route, you could see Adam Ondra climbing just so technical. He's so varied there with all his heel hooks, and still he finds everywhere some small tricks to do it more effective. I think that's one of his big abilities, and that's why he's able to do such hard routes and everywhere. I think it's really good, and I think that should be enough for finals. I'm curious about the next competitors, but I think it was for sure a good high point there. But Hyun Bin Min was having an exceptionally good go.
Well, that is definitely one of the things that's made him have such a name for himself. There he is talking to Jan Zabranek, it's our chief route setter there with the red Adidas top on, having a bit of a chat with Adam. But as you were saying, that unusual style, managing to find certain things, it's kind of what's made him his name for himself at such an early age. The bizarre style of his climbing. Very impressive to see him using the heel hooks up towards the top of the wall after the second crux. A big stretch out to the left-hand side there to get that heel on the arete. As we move over onto Mario Lechner then, and we're welcoming also Katharina Posch. Two Austrian athletes out for you now on the men's and the women's. Some comments pouring in. Barry Smith, Ondra is amazing. He's just all hair and limbs. Christopher Nesfeld saying Adam is an amazing climber, and then Climbing in Slovenia saying wow about Maya Vidmar a few moments ago. Perfect show. Incredible effort there from her. There's the high point now on the women's wall, definitely setting the bar high around the 42nd hold. How's everyone doing? Are we all enjoying the semi-finals? For those of you that missed us at the very start of today, I am joined, and my co-host for this semi-finals is Sebastian Helenki, who's with us here in the commentary booth as well. If you have any questions for either myself or for Sebastian or anybody here at the venue, if you want to know anything, get in touch with us. You can do so by using the hashtag in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen on Twitter. It's hashtag IFSCWC, and we're here and checking to see how you guys are getting on and what you're thinking.
And feel free to ask.
We now move on to Mario Lechner, Katharina Posch.
About Mario, I'm pretty curious. I think it has been a quite hard year for him as well. Last year being a few times in finals, but this year I think not yet any final.
I'm curious to see whether they've issued riot shields to the front row, because when Mario falls, he's developed a tendency over the last 3 or 4 World Cups of just throwing shoes or chalk bags out into the audience in aggression. So I don't know whether they've issued something to protect the front, like a splash guard, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
We'll wait and see. Let's hope that he has a good run and that no one gets concussion.
Yeah. Well, luckily we are far away, so we won't be hit by anything. Well, and let's hope the wall will be still standing. But better let's hope that he just has a good go and nothing is going to happen.
A little bit of a shake here at the moment. Can he get up onto this next section? First crux here. Big move up into that blue now. We saw that dynamic approach from Min Hyun Bin, which saved him some energy. Nice here, Mario. A little bit risky, but he's got his hand onto it. He's got a shake going on now, but this is a potential for him to possibly take a moment and shake out. There you are, grabbing some chalk now.
I think he's some kind of nervous the way he climbs. I don't think that he's actually physically tired, because I know him, and he has really got a lot of fitness. He's training in Innsbruck, just like Jakob Schubert, so I've seen him a few times, and he's just so strong. He's got a lot of fitness. I think it's just about him also more a mental thing, more than anything else. So I hope he will get his head free there.
Yeah, he's definitely taking advantage of this rest here before moving over onto the right-hand side. Katarina, exceptionally strong young athlete. We're seeing constant strapping on her wrists at every single World Cup throughout this year for support. I keep meaning to ask her about it, whether it's that she's had a bit of a strain or something, I'm not entirely sure, or whether it is just that she enjoys the support that gives her on those wrists there, but she always has a wrist strapped.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, doing her nice thing with the hook.
Yeah, she's not swung out at all. She's keeping her feet and body over to this side. A little bit of a shake here at the moment. Unfortunately, Mario coming back down.
Yeah. He was looking pumped there, but I think it was just more of nervosity. Oh, reaching there the banana.
Big shake setting in now on Katarina. Can she keep pushing here? Oh, and unfortunately just slipping at that point.
Just missed that kind of pocket there.
And was reliant on this hold that you were talking about earlier, the orange banana there.
Yeah.
Trying to get above it onto the 41st hold there. Might have given her a little bit of a better opportunity to start pushing over to where Maya was, moving over onto 42. But still an incredible effort there from Katarina Posch. That's a 40 plus, I believe, at that point. And again, that could be enough at this stage to see her straight through to the finals.
Yeah, let's see how it's going to end up for her.
Okay, the crowd right behind our next athlete here, another young athlete that could potentially be seeing him through into the finals. He's made them already this year. Thomas Ballet now for France comes out. Wish Habuka getting in touch saying, I wonder if someone is going to make it to the top. That ending is an absolute killer, isn't it? Yeah, and I imagine you're talking about both of the routes here, because the men's and the women's, the end section here. We haven't actually seen the final 5 or 6 holds and procedure on the women's route. We've had a glimpse of it with Min Hyun Bin and with Adam Ondra on the men's. We've seen where that top and what they should be doing around that point there and had a glimpse at it. But for the women's, we haven't seen the last 10 moves really at all. And those are going to be very interesting as well, because that's the thing that Jan was talking about, saying that it's basically a 7B plus boulder problem at the very top, and that none of the route setters have been able to do it. So I'm really looking forward to that one as well. Now this young athlete now out, Jessica Pills, 16 years old. This is where I was putting my money on earlier on, saying I think we could be in for seeing something great here from this
I think
young
so.
16-year-old.
For sure, also right now a potential finalist. She's been doing already a few times really good this year in the World Cup circuit. And let's hope it will carry on here in the competition. And I think actually also talking about the men's route, Thomas Ballet is going to have a quite good chance here to reach finals, as it's a more technical route in some way, and he's just such a great climber. Very fluent, very technical. He always finds out some nice tricks. So I think if up on the route he's still going to have the energy and the core power to manage the movements, he might even reach a final position. Still looking quite strong here for sure.
Absolutely. Bit of a shake there going on in his right leg, but that's purely because of an awkward position.
Look what he's doing there with his legs. He just finds so many technical tricks that you wouldn't imagine or you wouldn't think of.
And well, you can actually see this, although he's shaking physically in a couple of places here, now you can see he's having to concentrate a little bit on his face, but
And look what he was doing there again with his left foot, this kind of toe hook. He's just a really varied climber.
And he is fighting here,
Yeah,
but he's
now
still
it's-
very much in control of the climb that he's performing on here.
Now it's getting hard.
Yeah. Crowd right behind him. Big move now for him. Can he hold it? Just about managing there. Come on, Thomas.
Yeah, I think those movements are quite hard for him.
So that was a 32 plus.
Yeah, exactly.
And most of our other athletes that have got into this section of the wall, actually, other than Ondra and Min Hyun Bin that went all the way up, most of our other athletes have been either 30 pluses or 31s.
Yeah.
So that actually, at the moment, is putting him right up there at the top of the male athletes because he's managed to make a positive movement past 32.
Yeah.
That's not a bad score for him at the moment. If we have a couple of bad runs from some of our remaining male athletes, it could still be enough to see him through.
Could be enough, yeah.
But we have got quite a few left to come,
Yeah,
guys. That's going to say,
that's true,
actually.
and they're all super strong there.
Yep, they are.
They're actually all frequent finalists.
Jessica Pills here with a little bit of a shake going on in the left arm, but managing to move past it. She's got to shake that out in a few moments. Just moving up towards the pink pinch holds. I'm really hoping she puts in a performance here. It'd be great to see her in another final. She made the finals in Imst earlier this year, just a week or so after taking the European Youth Championship title on the same wall in Imst as well.
Having a little pump, but still able to shake a bit. I think she's also physically pretty strong. She's got lots of endurance. But let's hope that the next movement, which is quite an athletic one, won't bring her out.
There's one heel in there. Is she going to use the other one as well? No, she's going for a toe on this one. And she could take some time here if she's clever about it. She's grabbing a bit of chalk. We'll go over to Stefano Gazzolfi in a moment, but we're currently at an interesting point with Jessica Pills. And there you can see that move with the shoulders over onto that next, not really a difficult move. She didn't look like a difficult move for Jessica here.
No, that's
We've
true.
seen that cost a lot of athletes.
Yeah. This move, I think she didn't like it so much.
16 years old, Jessica Pills.
Oh. I'm not so sure if that's going to work out. Yeah.
Too long on the hand underneath.
Yeah, exactly. I think extending there wasn't really good because it brought her out. She couldn't hold it also with core anymore.
Well, I've lost the bet then. That was my first potential top on the women. I thought we could see one there from that one. So no top there for Jessica Pills. A good effort though. We saw her up around the 37th hold. Not sure whether it will be enough to see her through. Bearing in mind the performances that Maya and Katarina have put in already, and the fact that we're about to move into, just like we are with the men, the real high caliber athletes. These are the guys that are just frequent finalists.
All the frequent finalists.
It's just the same for the women. I mean, our next female athlete is Akio Noguchi, another one that could be having a good time of things here with that boulder-based problem for pretty much the entire last third of the wall.
Yeah.
So we'll see how she gets on there. Stefano Gazzolfi, exceptionally strong athlete from Italy. Another one that I would say has a pretty decent maximum power.
Yeah.
You're talking about that being a beneficial thing here.
Now also taking a little rest here. I think he doesn't like that hold so much. The way he's hanging there with the left arm, I think it's not so much his hold, but to able to rest there.
Well, he's taking advantage of it here. Assessing the next few moves there. You can see him scanning what he's going to be doing from then on.
Yeah, I'm really curious how he's going to do the next athletic movements there. If he will be able to do them, or they will bring him out. still looking strong so far. Oh.
Incredible finger strength there at that moment.
Biting the quick drop or to clip it. Well, interesting trick there. Still looks
nice.
Pretty good.
Very nice. Bit of a shake setting in on the right leg. Big move here now though.
Yeah.
Managing it
Managing to hold. Really nice.
And again, 34th hold now for him. That's the 35th. That sort of smaller pinch there.
Maybe with a heel hook on the edge.
Well, we saw that from Ondra earlier on.
Yeah, I think that would be good.
There's the short mark
right
there.
Now he's not able to clip. That's a pity.
So around 36 then, that's where he was moving up to. He had a hand on that one there. He was trying to look at a way to get up over the lip onto 37. But not bad at all from Stefano Ghisolfi.
Yeah, it was very good.
Pushing up ahead of where Thomas Valley was a few moments ago, and potentially a bit of a safer position to be in for the finals.
Yeah, I think that could be actually enough.
Climbing in Slovenia, saying both female and male routes look awesome. Really interesting semi-finals. Respect to the route setters. Absolutely, I would agree with you on that one.
And now we're seeing Akio Noguchi. The next one where we said she could have a very good potential to climb quite high there on that route, as she has got the maximal power from bouldering.
It's if she can keep the endurance, if she can find the rests and hold on to that endurance as she climbs on this one, then the boulder problems and the technical side of moving through a boulder problem, as you're saying, the maximum power as well, she's definitely got that. She finished up second on the overall World Cup rankings this year for the entire boulder season, behind Anna Storr. So Akio, no stranger to the boulder style at all. And she's actually had a pretty successful lead season so far as well.
Yeah, for sure. And she has got a lot of endurance as well. And now for the male athletes, Domen Skofic.
Okay, so we get things started with Domen then.
Yeah, had a really successful season this year. As you said before, he was actually in every finals, apart of one where his heel slipped.
Yeah, that was Wu Yang. He unfortunately didn't make it through into the finals there, but he was saying yesterday that he was feeling good. He had a good climb on both routes yesterday in the qualifying rounds, making him one of the top 12 male athletes that have got 2 tops from yesterday's qualifications in tied first place. So a good run here from Domen. We'll see him nicely through into the finals. Let's for now, let's stick it at Akio while we're waiting for Domen to get up into that interesting roof. Let's stick with Akio over the next few moves here.
Akio is really strong there.
Really, really strong at the moment.
Still able to rest and relax. Doesn't look pumped at all. And I think the next movements are going to be quite good for her.
Another one that's managed to find the rest here for a moment. And let's see how she gets on with this one. So a heel hook here at this point, deciding against it.
Yeah, I think only one person has done it with a heel, and that was Katarina Posch before.
Up
Also
with the
going
left.
up with the left. I'm curious.
And she's just stemming there instead, just using a bit of a bridge to get her up onto the next green one.
Power she's got in her right arm still.
Well, and her legs there at that point. She's bridging across from that pink hold onto the hemisphere there, but she's on quite an impressive incline at the moment.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of pressure to put on that point there. It's not a comfortable position to be in at all.
No, for sure not.
Up now onto 41 then. And just, I mean, look at how slow and steady she's moving up onto that next hold. It's not. This is not a desperate push. And unfortunately, slipping as she's going over. That was 43 plus for Akio Noguchi, giving us a new high point here.
This green hold is so bad.
Yeah, all of them.
Even her was not able to hold it right now. It's crazy. And she's got a lot of finger power as well.
Yeah. And now we're over onto the interesting point with Domen as well. I mean, a great climb there from Akio, but you see, I mean, how controlled she was moving up into the next one there.
Yeah.
It wasn't a desperate, like, quick, let's try and get the next hold. It was just
very controlled.
It was just the unfortunate circumstance that it just wasn't a very good hold.
Yeah, I think it was just, the hole was kind of too bad.
So here is Skofic.
Still taking his time here.
Ils ont fait le déplacement. Et puis Manu Romain en finale, on a l'habitude, mais sa petite sœur, quel bonheur et quelle fierté.
Looking really strong.
Allez Romain, allez.
About this section, I'm really curious how he's going to do now.
Son endroit préféré pour grimper en France, c'est les Valence. Allez, la voilà comme ça, s'il vous plaît, Salomé Romain, la petite réforme avec des performances hier. Si elle reste sur...
Controlled at the moment, looking good. We move on to Salomé Romain on the women's. We'll go over to her in a few moments' time. Up to 31 here, 31.
Here, the toe hook on the edge. I think that's quite good.
Nice little trick there to give you a bit of extra support. Okay, currently up to the 33rd hold here. Big move out there. Is he going to be able to hold this? Toe hook again for a bit of support, and there it is. You could tell there at that point.
I really think he should have stepped up before doing that movement, you know, with the left foot. There was some foothold on the right side, and I think if he had taken it, he would for sure go further there, because before he didn't look too pumped. And I'm not sure if that's really going to be enough for finals.
Well, this is the thing for Domin at the moment. He said, you know, with the heel hook problems that he's had, he said it's more of a just a silly mistake that's cost him, but 2 or 3 times now, just reading a beater wrong or doing it in a specific way, or not feeling too comfortable with his feet a lot of the time is another big one. And you can see he was trying to use them then by getting the toe hook in a couple of times, but he just got himself in an awkward position to reach for the middle hold to allow him to then go from that middle hold, which is 35, up to the 36th. But, you know, around the same point as Stefano Ghisolfi, you know, Thomas Ballet around that sort of area as well. Domin a little bit higher than Ballet.
Yeah.
Could still be enough. I mean, we've still got some strong athletes yet to come, but we'll see.
Yeah, let's see. It could be enough, but it's going to be...
Salomé here then, and we're welcoming our next male athlete as well, another French athlete, Gauthier Super, another one who could definitely be seeing himself through to finals if he has a good run here, much like Thomas Ballet.
Yeah. Yeah, one really strong French athlete. And I'm curious how she's going to do it that route, because she's also one of the shorter athletes. So I think maybe a few movements could be a little bit hard for her, but she's quite strong. So it could be good for her too.
Et du côté des garçons, on va faire entrer Monsieur Super Gauthier. Le mur va devenir 100% français. S'il vous plaît, on fait du bruit. Allez, cocotte. Allez, faut bien respirer, faut pas qu'elle s'enflamme. Faut qu'elle se relâche aussi aux endroits qui sont...
Still looking quite relaxed and quite fresh.
Allez, le public de Valence.
It's nice to see her here. Oh, her feet leaving. I think that brought her in a little bit of upward position. But maybe she's now able to rest here up with the heel. Yeah, she found a little rest. I think that might secure a little bit of power.
Salomé is Manu Roman's younger sister. We'll be seeing him a little bit later on as well. Both from Briançon.
And now a hard movement for her, but she's doing it well. And now this is going to be a very hard section for her. Starting to get pretty pumped. Still able to hold it.
And she's going to go
very physical clip for her.
This next move as well.
Managed it to do.
She's got her feet there now though, so should be able to squeeze up to that next hold without too much trouble here.
Wow, she's trying to match.
Managing it again. Salome, can you hold it? No, unfortunately not. But managing to get up to the 38th hold there. That's a 38 plus for Salome Roman, the young French athlete. Fantastic effort there from her though.
Yeah, it was a nice go.
And we're here with Gautier Super. Plenty more action still to come for you guys. We're into our kind of final 8 athletes now that we would expect to see going through into the finals. 8C grading difficulty for the men's, 8B plus for the women's, and we're looking at a 13.5 meter high wall with several roof sections in it and a constant improving incline all the way from the very beginning. 90% of this wall is on an incline, gradually growing steeper and steeper as these athletes move further up. Route set by chief route setter here, Jan Zabranek and his team. And hopefully you guys are enjoying.
Still looking really good here for him.
Alors on va les retrouver tous, hein, tous ces Français, ces Françaises pour une séance de dédicace sur le stand de la Fédé après les demi-finales.
Now reached the point for it to shake out a little bit, but still doesn't look popped at all. Completely relaxed.
Et Gauthier, c'est le duc de Chambéry.
Still in full force of his power.
Well, it's looking like he was debating whether or not to take a rest there at all. It looked like he was considering just pushing straight ahead. As we welcome Ellen Janiko now out onto the women's wall, a definite contender here for a final place position.
Yeah, for sure. She is really strong at the moment, and during the year she has got quite many good results. Actually, she is one podium candidate for the end of the year. So I hope she will have a really good run here. Also one of the very technical and fast climbers. Moving really exact and precise. And here Gauthier, very high on that route, still looking good, even able to shake here. And he's got a nice heel there on the left. And the next hold. Oh no, just unfortunately slipped away.
It should be enough for a 37 though. It looked like he got a good control over the 37.
Yeah, it was the 37th hold.
An impressive climb there, Gautier Super.
Alors derrière, Super Gauthier, le prochain, c'est le seul grimpeur, j'ai l'habitude de dire parce que c'est quand même extraterrestre de le dire.
And now Ellen moving on.
La planète à avoir été champion du monde dans toutes les disciplines.
Still looking good. Taking also a little rest here.
D'ailleurs le champion du monde en titre. Il a remporté une Coupe du monde de bloc cette saison.
And there you can also see the persons who are stronger are better able to take a little rest there compared to the athletes that came more at the beginning. Nice extension.
Okay, so now moving up onto the pink holds here. Currently on the 29th hold.
Venir s'entraîner, il s'entraîne aussi avec les Français de temps en temps. Et Charles Macron, ça pique. Allez. Là, lui aussi, on a vu avant, on a passé des facilités remarquables.
Look what she's doing there with her feet.
Relatively comfortable position by the look of things for her.
Come on.
Still very, very controlled here. We're about to welcome Sean McCall onto the men's wall as well here, so we will be bringing you over to him in a few moments' time. I'm fascinated by
Really
Sean.
good idea here with that underclick. You see that?
Underneath that she's got on the right hand here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly that.
Kind of turning it into a bit of a compression moment there, allowing her to get a bit more extra purchase. Or you mean back where she's resting here?
Yeah, exactly. It's a very good idea. Now moving on here to this powerful section. Still looking good.
Oh, a little bit of a slip. Can she come back from that? Come on, Ellen.
Come on, come on.
Get that other foot across.
Oh no.
No, she should have brought the other foot across at that
Yeah.
stage, I think. You know, when she's starting to lose it at that point, she's got enough purchase on the left there to be able to, like we saw Salome, bringing that other right foot across. It might have helped her with the handhold. Unfortunately,
That's a
coming
pity.
down there. And she still looks so strong. She still looks more than capable of pushing through the next 5 to 6
Yeah, for
moves.
sure.
Now, I'm fascinated by Sean McCall, particularly in terms of this wall as well. Yesterday, we saw him actually kind of almost staging himself a little bit. This fast style that he's sort of developed and become increasingly quicker over the last, say, 5-6 League World Cups. He was definitely staging himself through the semi-finals yesterday because he was well aware of getting pumped too early on this on these routes. He is a boulderer. He had his first gold this year on Log Dragonmare, also a very strong lead climber.
Yeah, he is super strong. He's
Same
like
footwork there as you saw
super
from
varied.
Stefano.
He is super strong in bouldering, super strong in lead climbing.
I want to know how he's going to get on with this.
Là, tu vas pouvoir nous envoyer les métaux avec Party Rock parce que c'est sa chanson Magdalena Rock, la meilleure rappeuse autrichienne qui nous rejoint maintenant.
He's not really taking a rest there.
No.
This is what I mean about this fast style. He just doesn't
Yeah.
seem to want to stop.
Well,
as
just
he's
like
going.
he usually does, never taking rests. Also doing hair, I think. No, not even doing a toe hook. Now those movements should be also better for him.
Still looking so strong.
Yeah, for sure.
Toe goes out. Big athletic moves that he's using here. Up to the 37th with very little trouble at all. 38th now. 9th, bit of a shake setting in the right leg now. And up to the next hold there. That was the 40th, I believe. A 39 plus then for Sean McCall at the moment is enough to secure that final position.
Yeah.
And we're over to Magdalena Roek on the women's, and this is another athlete, very young, but very capable.
Watching Sean McCall, I think he didn't really go for the next hold anymore because he knew he hadn't clipped and he wouldn't be able to clip anymore. And I think he also kind of knew that it was going to be enough for the finals. I would
You think people have been chatting in the isolation?
On va suivre la 4e mondiale Magdalena Rock et puis le prochain, monsieur là, ça va faire plaisir encore à beaucoup de gens. Celui qui va arriver, il est 6e du classement mondial, il est français. Il est de Briançon, sa petite sœur est passée il y a quelques minutes. On va applaudir monsieur Manu Romain, 6e mondial, le français.
So Magdalena Roek moving on to the roof section here now then.
Allez Magda. Allez, Manu Romain, applaudissements pour lui s'il vous plaît. Manu Romain qui nous avait annoncé avec la grande déception qu'il allait arrêter sa carrière de sportif, ou en tout cas suspendre temporairement depuis qu'il nous a dit ça.
So for the men's then, our current high point still resting with Min Hyun Bin from earlier on today, an incredible performance from him. And we've got Adam Ondra close behind him, and now Sean McCall at around the 3rd place position as well. Manu Ramon comes out to start his climb on the men's semi-finals, and Magdalena Roek now moving into the really tricky section around these pink volumes.
But she is also still looking quite fresh there. Maybe we are going to see a new high point from here. And also Manuel Roman here on the wall. I think maybe we are going to see also from him eventually a new high point, maybe even a top.
From Manu?
Yeah. Because I think in this route he could look quite good. First part quite technical and then a little bit powerful. I think that could be quite his style.
Well, he's definitely got the endurance for it.
Yeah. And Magdalena still looking really fresh.
I was seeing this young athlete starting to challenge Kim Jae-in and Mina Markovic at quite a few of the qualifying and semi-final rounds throughout this year.
It just, as you saw here, this match was incredible. This matching of the green hold. It's anyway so small, but she was still able to match. It's crazy.
Just like Akio, very controlled at this point. It was the next few moves that cost Akio. Magdalena starting to challenge it. Can she do it?
Yeah, she's got the
unbelievable. She's moving past now. New high point here. 45th hold. 45th. Just to keep you guys in mind though, this is our high point at the moment. 45th and 46th hold. There are 57 holds. She's still got another 10 moves to go through, and this is the boulder problem that the route setters were talking about, saying that none of them were really able to do it. She's still moving now.
And she's still looking strong. But I think this boulder problem is so hard.
That's 49th. She's on the 49th now.
Wow.
That's the 50th. 51st, and she's managed to hold it as well. Unreal.
Really strong.
Unreal.
That was a really strong climb.
That looks like a 51 plus. Are we thinking? I mean, 50 and 51 is matching on the pink, which she definitely managed to hold there.
Yeah.
But then she tried to pop the 52. We're looking at around
that was a 51 plus.
51 plus. So
really strong climbing here.
what's really interesting is that's still 6 moves away from the top. This is the women's semi-final, Seb. What's going on?
That could be already finals. Manu's starting to get a little bit pumped, but still looking good.
There's a shake setting in here on Manu. He's got to keep control on this one up to the 37th.
Oh no.
Sorry, 36th there.
Yeah,
36.
36 plus. You just saw that slipping hoop.
Yeah, and you could see he was starting to get tired by then.
Yeah.
And shake starting to set in. Unbelievable from Magdalena Roa a few moments ago. What was that? Just came out of nowhere, just kept pushing, and at one point looked like she was going to come off, then carried on pushing again, looked like she was going to come off. Yeah. It was interesting for me as well, around the 49th hold, that sort of square orange brick on the women's. She didn't want to go for the 44th, she was actually using the cut-in on the wall.
Yeah, but I can't quite understand it. If you watch that hold, it's so slopey.
Yeah.
And that part of the wall is still quite steep.
She pretty much bypassed. She pretty much bypassed 49 and went on to the 50th, the pink one, with the right hand before then matching it with the left. So she just tried not to use that hold really at all.
But I think that's actually the best way to do it there.
Yeah.
Because holding that one, I think it's almost impossible. Well, we will see how Jae Kim is going to do it. If it's impossible or not.
An athlete that we interviewed yesterday, our current European champion, Ramon de Grange, now on the wall. Very similar style. I tend to compare him with Manu. I think they've got a very similar style. I know that when I was talking to Ramon, he was saying what he thinks is one of the strengths of the French team is that they every year have to have a gathering where all of them get together and train for a week or 10 days together. So they are frequently in contact with each other and training with each other.
Yeah,
and that's a nice way to develop style there.
Yeah, that's for sure a big advantage. Yeah, and as you said, they are having in some way a quite similar style. They're both really fast and technical climbers. I think the difference is that Manuel is a little bit more powerful and having a touch less endurance, and he is having a touch more endurance but a little bit less maximal power.
I think that was perfectly said, so I think that's a very good way of looking at it. Samo Flack saying about Magdalena's climb a few moments ago, her name is Rock. She cannot fail.
Yeah, maybe it's already in the name.
Yeah, it's definitely in the name. Well, this is Anak Verhoeven for Belgium then. She has seen 2 finals already this year.
Yeah, 2
over
really
in
strong
Mokpo
finals.
and also at Purs on home turf. She got into the highest ranking yesterday. Right up towards the top there, ending up in 5th place, just behind our 4-tied first place female athletes, making it forward into the semi-finals, which were Dinara Fakhridinova, Momoka Oda, Kim Yain and Mina Markovic. Anak right behind them. At the young age of 17 years old, she started to make finals, so we would expect to see something great here now from Anak. Wish her all the best as she starts to climb. For now, though, let's stick Seb over with Ramon as he's about to go into this this tricky roof move now. He's looking very strong at the moment.
Yeah, he's still looking really strong there. It's really nice, and also there on the edge, he didn't struggle at all. Was looking good. I'm surprised he doesn't rest there. He just didn't take that rest at all. Let's hope it will be through enough with his endurance, but he's still looking quite good here, so I think yes.
Straight up to 31, no problem here so far. Looking very strong still at the moment.
Yeah, still really strong here.
33rd hold, 34th now with the left. Approaching, he's got the heel, the toe hook in, but he's about to start approaching that tricky move from 36 to 37, from the red to the black over the lip here. Is he going to be able to manage this one? He's looking good at the moment.
Yeah, he's looking really strong there. But having a pump on his right arm.
The crowd are loving this. That's the 40th.
Just like Adam
40
Ondra.
plus, exactly like Adam Ondra.
Yeah. But
Same
with that,
score.
he is before him.
Seeing him through into the final.
So right now he is on 2nd place position.
Well, it'll be tied because he's actually got the same count back as Adam.
That's
12,
true. That's
12
true.
tied first place position athletes in the men's.
So
But,
they're both on 2nd place
So
position.
yeah, they're both tied 2nd at the moment, but which could make for a really interesting final. Because,
Yeah, for sure.
we are seeing a great spread here amongst the athletes.
Yeah, I'm really curious to watch that finals.
Kerb saying Madalena Roek with an statement on that one. And Wish here with an interesting point saying, I think it's fear of that steep orange hold there that took over. Getting on that orange hold there seems to be crucial in finishing. Perhaps it's a more confident hold rather than it looks. So he's saying he thinks that orange block might be a better hold than it looks. I don't think it is. I think you're right in saying it's terrible. But
Well,
it is crucial as a foothold for the top.
Yeah.
I think it might be crucial in moving back across to the left and using it as a foothold. But at the moment, for your hand when you're down there before it, I think, yeah, you're right in saying that the incline on the wall is such that it's just a sloper.
I actually know this hold because we're having it on some bouldering gyms in Germany, and yeah, I've had it already in my hands a few times, and it's so hard. Even in a boulder, it's so hard if you have it in a steep wall. So for sure, that's a really bad hold there. And Anak is still looking quite strong here.
She's fastly developing into a fantastic lead athlete.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, this year has just seen such an increase in her performances. Wow, here we go again.
Manage holding this.
Okay, that's the 45th hold now Anak is on to.
Really strong.
Seeing her in 2nd place at the moment, up to the 46th. She's challenging Madalena for this one.
Still on the wall.
Still moving. This is over onto the 47th now and 48th.
That's looking really strong here. Oh.
And there you can see the tricky orange block on the wall there. You can see actually from that angle just how awkward it is. It's not even deep. You know, there's nothing really there.
It's super negative.
Yeah, but with the 48 plus, that's seeing Anak through to the finals.
Yeah.
We've only got 4 more female athletes to go, and she's in second to top position there. Anak making another final on the IFSC senior competitions at 17 years old.
Really strong.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's definitely fantastic.
Cam Harrison joining us from Oz, merry old Oz, saying so tired, but I can't afford to miss anything. I love your commitment, Cam. I'm not even sure what time it is there now, but I'm reckoning it's pretty late or early morning.
Well, it's really cool.
So we've had our first challenge from our producer Johnny here, saying dibs on if anyone tops, it will be Ramone. What do you think to that one, Seth?
Yeah, I actually wanted to say that already before.
Wow, you've lost it now, haven't you? Johnny's got it in there.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't remind of that anymore, but I think he's really having good potential to top that route.
And he's had a couple of bad runs recently.
Yeah, that's true.
So he's going to be rather determined at this stage in the year to have a good fight here.
But he's just so super physically strong.
Yeah. And there's not really any move here that's going to cause him any difficulties due to his height. There's not really a move. I mean, there's an athletic point coming up on this after this next crux. That we see some quite big stretches, but he's got a reasonable enough ape, and I think he'll be able to afford to get a toe hook out onto the arete once he gets onto that midsection.
Yeah, I think
this isn't a particularly
height. Be really a problem.
I don't think it's a height challenging route really. This one, and we have seen them this year, and we have seen him find it very difficult. For example, the final that you were with me last in Perth.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, that move, we were seeing that double dyno, some of the taller male athletes doing it in the static approach.
Yeah, they could do it static, and that was for a runner there for sure.
Yeah.
Completely impossible.
So now we welcome our other European champion, Dinara Fakhretdinova at the moment. We've had Ramon de Grange. Dinara taking the gold medal at Chamonix earlier this year, still making frequent finals. Another exceptionally strong athlete for Russia. And we're into our 4 tied first place positions now. So this is where it is going to be important to see and make note of what every single one of these next female athletes manages on this wall.
Yeah, now it's going to be interesting. But the most I'm curious about Giant Kim and Nina Markovic.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm really curious if they're going to top that route. What's going to happen? Ramon's still moving quite good. Doing a little bit of strange things with his feet there.
A bit of a shake there. You can see that was actually a relatively big reach there. He's boycotted going over to the left-hand side. He's not used much of the arete at all there.
Getting a little bit pumped here.
Yeah, there's a shake setting in on the right arm here.
I think this clip is not really good for him. Now moving on.
39th hold he's on here.
Look, that he's still shaking there.
Yeah, he's taking a moment to shake out, grab a bit more chalk, but you know, he's resting here.
That's unbelievable.
What?
The other persons are falling there. He's resting there.
Now this is another thing that he does, is that he sometimes gets defensive as a climber. If he doesn't feel comfortable, he'll waste a lot of energy going forward and backwards in an awkward position.
Look where he's stepping. That's not a foothold. That's something.
That's not a bolt hole, is it? He could be penalized for that.
I don't think so. Or yeah? Not so sure.
Now that's interesting to me. Well, he didn't actually use it that much to push any further on, but that wasn't a hold there. I'm not sure exactly what the ruling will be on that one. I'll find out in a few moments' time from Graham Alderson, who's our technical delegate here. But we saw
that was something else, but not a foothold.
So that's 39 plus there for Ramone. Didn't quite manage the 40th by the look of things.
Yes, he did manage the 40th. He was
going to
managing the 41st. He was.
He went up and came down again, didn't he?
Yeah, he was moving away from 40 to the 41st, and then he fell.
Okay, so 40 plus?
Yeah, he's going to have 40 plus.
We'll see on the. I want to know about what's going on there, because that was basically a bolt on the actual metal runner here that he was using as a foothold.
I'm not really sure what it was. I think it was actually not a bolt, but
no, it wasn't. It wasn't anything to do with the clips or anything, but it was actually a part of the wall here. Maybe it'll be fine. I'll go and find out now, and I'll leave you to talk through Dinara, Seb.
Dinara even taking a rest on that sloper, where everyone actually moved towards really fast. Still looking quite strong here. Cross to a little crimp.
Ruling for Mr. Alderson across the board is that as long as it's not a bolt hanger, then it's okay. And he said he was pretty precise on where he's putting his foot. It basically becomes a feature on the wall that if they can take advantage of it, it's not too much of a problem. So a good climb there from Ramonet. We didn't see the top though. Still no tops.
Yeah, I'm curious if we are going to see any top there. Look, Dinara. She just grabbed that hold and didn't even have troubles to hold it. So crazy. And she's resting there. I think she's having a really strong go there.
And she's resting here, which was the hold that brought down Akio Noguchi.
Unbelievable.
Still looking good.
Still looking really strong. Not too pumped.
Securing a finals here now for her, up to the 48th hold now. And now here we see again, straight away bypassing that hold, going straight on to 50 and 51.
Wow.
And now we see it becoming a foothold, and we see Dinara starting to challenge the top here.
Wow.
So strong.
That's super strong. And those
unbelievable.
There. That's really, whoa.
Come on, Dinara, you got to get that foot in. There's another one a bit higher. Oh, no.
That was super strong.
And she was using the 47th as a foothold there. She could potentially have got one on the 48th. There was a higher foothold there she could have used, but just an incredible effort. I mean, I think the 54 maybe. I'm not sure whether she got the match on the pink there at the top, but around a 54 to 55. That's our new high point. It's only 2 moves away from the top there. But
crazy.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, that was an unbelievable goal.
A new emerging high point, even at this late stage of the semi-finals for the women. And we move all the way back over to the men's for Jakob Schubert.
Yeah, now I'm curious how he's going to go here. I think also the last few competitions didn't go quite the way he wanted it. So maybe that one will be better for him. Didn't really like the movements there, but Thu looking still quite strong. Try to relax it. So I'm curious if we're still going to see their top for the men route.
I think Sachi is on such a good form at the moment.
I just wanted to mention that. I think also a potential top from Sachi could be.
Yeah. I mean, if not Jakob, he's got the bouldering experience to be able to have a good go at this, but then Sachi's been doing boulder competitions as well this year. He's taken part in a couple as well and made finals in a couple. But looking at Jakob, Jakob's had not too bad a year, actually. I mean, obviously the gold in Purs, when we were last together.
Yeah, the gold in Purs was amazing.
Second place in Imst. You know, other lead events recently, a second place in Perm as well, and a bronze medal at Uyang. So he's not had too bad a season at all.
No, definitely not.
He definitely had that tough transition from the bouldering into the lead at the start of the year.
I think it's really hard, this transition.
That was the point that he wasn't very happy with how he was performing.
Yeah, the same for Sean McCall.
Yeah.
He's got some troubles with that as well. Slowly starting to get up there.
Okay, 36th hold here. He's using a heel hook on the other arete here up to the 37th. Yeah, he's starting to get pumped now. Unfortunately. Up to the 38th there. Momoka Oda then about to approach this moment to rest here. We've still got one more male athlete in Sachi Ama yet to come, and we also have Mina Markovic and Kim Yain still yet to climb.
About
after
those
Momoka
two
Oda.
athletes, I'm so curious.
And that's going to be the one where we find out whether this route is potentially beatable.
Maybe we are going to see again two tops of them. I could even imagine that.
Now this was our former World Youth Champion at Singapore, where you took your World Youth Championship
exactly.
title.
It was the same competition.
Yep. So
that was a good competition.
That was a good competition. That's what I was going to say. Well, I bet it was for you. Slightly biased there. But yeah, Momoka was the World Youth Champion. Her final year of doing it there on the junior circuit. You've got your next year is your final year, right?
Yeah, exactly. Next year is my final year. Right now I'm 18 years old, so next year I will have my last Youth World Championship.
And you've got 3 titles, right?
Yeah, exactly.
3 times World Youth Champion.
Yeah. So I hope next year for a 4th one.
Yeah. Finish it up. And Momoka took that one last year in Singapore. And she was just unstoppable all the way through the competition. She was literally, and I'm not even intending a pun, she was head and shoulders above every other athlete that we saw there in the women's category. The route setters just couldn't stop her all the way through. She just waltzed away. She was the only athlete to have topped every single route back to the qualifications up to the final. She was just unstoppable throughout that competition, and she's been so strong coming from that juniors event into the seniors as well. She's just sort of seamlessly moved from the juniors to the senior categories. Yeah. And now she's in 3rd place on the overall World Cup rankings. And she's managing to hold it as well. The other 2 athletes that are challenging her for it are other youth athletes, which is what gets me about it. We're seeing, you know, Mina Markovic, Kim Jae-in right at the top of the table, but then our 3rd place positions are all basically youth athletes that have just emerged.
That's crazy. And she's also still looking really strong.
Looking good at the moment. Drop knee here.
And actually also about Sachi right now, I'm really curious if he will get the top. For sure he has got the potential to do it. And by now our 1st place climber is still Hyun Bin-min at the male category.
Yeah. Talk about a comeback after slipping down to 2nd at Motpo this year. Okay, so Momoka are about to move over onto this point on the side. There you can see from this angle the slope on that orange block there. It's just there's not really anything. I mean, you could possibly try and get an undercling, but with what arm? And even that sloped as well. Look, she did. I'll touch it, but I'm not going to use anything to do with it.
Crazy.
Okay, so now Momoka's starting to move up and round.
Wow.
Challenging Dinara.
Still looking super strong.
And here we and unfortunately just slipping off. But you could see she was going for the higher of the 2 footholds there, the green one, which is Dinara just got herself into a tricky position with her foot. And that was just a slip with her hands there from Momoka, but that puts her in 2nd place at the moment, and incredibly good standing for going into the finals.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm quite sure for the female route we're going to see some top.
Yeah, I think with our next 2 athletes, I think they have the potential to definitely get them out there. And we will wait and see. Guys, just to remind anybody that's watching this at the moment, this is the semi-finals. This isn't even the finals. The finals are still yet to come later on this evening. Do hope all of you can come back and join us for that one as well a little bit later on. We're going to be doing all the male athletes and all the female athletes separately in the finals, so we won't be cutting from man to woman like normal. We've got that still to come for you later on with completely new routes from the same route setting team that have given you this semi-finals. Jan Zabranik and his team. Really looking forward to the rest of the comp here.
Look how strong Sachi is still looking there. Still resting.
A little bit of a shake here, but he's got it on. No.
Exactly the same.
So 40.
Ondra.
No, I don't think he's going to get the plus for that.
You don't think?
No, I mean he got a hand onto the 40th. Maybe he's controlled it, but there wasn't really any positive movement there. It was as he was falling, I think. I mean, maybe they'll give him the 40 plus.
I'm not so sure. Well, he did touch the next hole. That's quite true.
We'll wait and see whether it's a 40 or a 40 plus. But that's our men, isn't it? That's it. That's it. It done.
Yeah.
So Min Hyunbin goes into the finals with a clear lead on countback here.
Yeah.
By an extra move ahead of everyone else, still leading the way after being one of the athletes who actually qualified incredibly low from yesterday. Min Hyunbin was not one of our tied 12 first place positions. No. He actually qualified all the way down in 16th, 17th maybe. He was 10th out today.
That's crazy.
So now we move over onto Kim Jae-in. We have established where our male athletes are. We've got Adam Ondra in the final. We have obviously Min Hyun-bin. Sachi's going to be in there as well. Ramon de Grange. We're seeing all the usual suspects.
Yeah, pretty much like always. What about Hyen Binmin? I got really surprised what a great go he had there. And even in that movement where all the other persons fell, he was still looking pretty good. He looked like topping it out.
It's not the first time this year that he's come out and just set a high point early in the competition. Yeah. Do you remember in Perth he did the same thing there?
Yeah, that's true.
And he held that high point for most of the comp. So Kim Jae-in, we fall into this. I almost feel like some sort of soothing music should be playing now. We're going to see this sort of graceful, slow style on this extremely long, despite the shorter wall we're working on, this extremely long female route here. And we shouldn't really see Kim running into difficulties anywhere here. I mean, anything you think might be a problem with her height anywhere or anything on the women's route?
I actually don't really think so. I mean, the movements right before that gray structure, the long movement to this kind of slopey hole, I think it's a red one actually.
34 to 35?
Yeah, from 34 to 35. It's a bit long for her, but I don't really think she's going to have problems with that, and neither with the next hole. I think actually she might really top it. For sure, she is our first potential topping candidate.
So in this position here for a clip-in. Still Mina Markovic yet to come after Kim Jae-in finishes her climb. And Jae-in has had an incredibly strong year this year, much like every other year. It was nice speaking to Mina yesterday about their relationship. I had an interview with Mina Markovic about their relationship and how it's changed and developed over the past 3 or 4 years, because it's absolutely become their show, I think.
Yeah.
It's always the two of them fighting out for the top place on the World Cup rankings.
Yeah,
And
they're really dominating.
And they've become friends because of it. They've become like, you know, friendly rivals. They see each other there the same time, every time in these finals. That they now share secrets. I mean, you'll watch them later on when we go to the finals and it's observation time. You know, they're straight to pair up with each other and discuss what they're going to be doing on the wall.
Yeah, that's really interesting, and I think that's actually quite uncommon, that the two main rivals are some kind of good friends.
In sports, you mean? That's one of the highlights of sports climbing, isn't it? The whole atmosphere is that way.
Yeah, I think it's something really nice, something really good.
So, Jain currently world ranked second, World Cup ranked first at the moment. Looking at the results for this year alone for 2013, gold medal at Briançon, bronze medal at Imst, gold medal at Purs and Perm, and silver medals at Mokpo and Wuyang.
So many great results
Just
there.
incredible, so dominant.
That's incredible. And how easy when she was just doing that movement.
And that was the move you were talking about, might be difficult with the height.
Exactly.
The thing is, her ape index is insane. It's something like 1.81 or something.
Really insane.
She's got a really, really wide ape.
Yeah. And she's just so small.
I love it. You said that like you were realizing it for the first time. She's just so small.
Yeah, and I mean, compared to her ape index, that's insane. Just like you said.
So again, just completely comfortable here at this stage. No real shakes.
Completely relaxed. She's looking like on some kind of warm-up wall.
Taking the time here to rest in between moves, or at least have a bit of a stretch in between moves. And here we see the top of the wall. This is another interesting camera angle provided for us here.
Yeah. This way it's also better to see this bad orange hold, how slopey it is.
Oh yeah, from the top here you can see there is really nothing to go on there at all.
And I think she's still not pumped at all. I think actually the next movement is going to be a little bit far for her. You know, this extension movement.
She's going to use the bolt hole. She was nearly going to use the bolt hole there on that. She's gone down instead. She can reach to that next one. She can definitely reach to that next one. She's not. She's using the orange at the moment with the bolt hole. She's got a thumb in the bolt hole here. And now deciding to go straight over to the next one. Definitely the right tactic to use there, but the strength there to get the... She's getting a pinch on that hole. I mean, what?
Oh, what she's going to do now. She's doing a cross there. Nobody has done
changing her mind. Now she's starting to shake a little bit now. She's going to need to shake out a little bit, have a rest, otherwise she's going to be in trouble here. Oh, unbelievable. Not the high point.
Yeah, I didn't expect that.
I didn't expect that. We thought we'd see her going all the way there, but actually ending up on 52 plus. Reaching for the 53rd there. 52 plus, it's not the high point. Dinara's done better than that, and I think Magda as well.
Yeah.
And that's possibly the most important moment we've just witnessed of the entire season.
Yeah.
Because if Mina can come out now and best that, bearing in mind that there are already two other athletes ahead of Kim Jae-in due to countback at this stage, Kim has to do something incredibly impressive in the finals to try and take the win here. Bearing in mind that whichever comes higher, not wins, but whichever comes higher out of the two of them, Kim Jae-in and Mina Markovic, will take the overall title this year.
Yeah, that's
true. That's going to be a problem on countback for Kim.
Yeah, that's true. If finals are not hard enough, or if they're on the same place as falling. But now I'm really curious about Mina Markovic, if she is going to take the top here.
Shout out to Commanders getting in touch, saying hi to me and Seb here at the venue, saying watching with John live on Skype. We just saw our friend Sheila wearing her CAC hoodie. Say hi to her. I will say hi to Sheila. She's been around since this morning. I think she just got here this morning. Down on the ground. Rumster getting in touch as well, saying one of the best routes I've seen. Great job for the route setters, and greetings from Holland. Hello to you. we get ready with our final climb of the semi-finals. It's been emotional. Seb.
Yeah, for sure. It was
It's been quite a ride from the start of this one, and we've still got the finals yet to come tonight. We've got almost the perfect setup for a finals.
Yeah.
No, not really any ties. In the men's, Adam and was it Ramon de Grange are the only real tie point there.
Yeah, that's true. It's really interesting.
In the women's as well, we've got a nice spread on that one as well. We've been
Yeah, I
provided.
think it's a really good route setting here.
Excellent route
I'm liking
setting.
the routes.
And so it's Mina now, and it all boils down to this one.
Yeah, I think those finals are going to be great ones tonight. And the atmosphere is also quite good here in that climbing gym. And I think tonight for finals it will be even better.
The crowd have been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah,
from the
for
off.
sure.
I mean, there was a point earlier when they started banging on the stadium stands,
Yeah.
and you just looked at me like, "What is that noise?
What's going on?"
Yeah, the crowd have been absolutely fantastic, and we are apparently sold out for this evening. It's around a 2,000-3,000 seater seating audience capacity, but with standing room as well. We're looking at hopefully 5,000-6,000 people here, which is great for an indoor venue.
It's
you know.
amazing. But I would say all the French World Cups are organized so amazing. They're really nice.
This has been fantastic from the off. I mean, look at the standard of setting, the venue we have here. We've got the gantries so we can give you those nice higher shots as well. It's great.
Yeah, it's
Been really good.
Yeah, I still remember when I was here 4 years ago in my first World Youth Championship. It was, I think, my best competition ever. It was amazing, organized, and it was great to be there out on finals. And I still remember before presenting the finalists, there was some kind of live music. It was amazing. It was such an awesome
You
show.
got a free gig out of it.
Sorry?
You got a free gig out of it as well as the finals.
Yeah.
So Mina now moving up onto the first roof sections. Give you an update on the men's at the moment. Then 3 tied second places now with Sachi as well.
Yeah, just
So
like I
that's a
said.
bit of a bad one. That's a bit tricky. But then not after that one. So we've got Min Hyun Min obviously in the first place position with a 42 plus. Adam Ondra, Ramon de Grange and Sachiyama with a 40 plus. Ramon Julien Poublanc with a 40 in 5th. Sean McCall in 6th with a 39. Jakob Schubert in 7th with a 37 plus, and our 8th place goes to Gauthier Super with a 37. Manuel Roman just missing out there in 9th with a 36 plus. So we have our 8 finalists now. We'll of course bring them up onto the screens for you in a little while, but what a great lineup for our final later on. And we're about to find out what our women's final is going to be looking like. Let's see how Mina gets on now. She's about to start moving into the tough part.
Yeah, but she's still looking really relaxed for that. Also trying to do it here with the heel and doing it really good. I think only 2 or 3 climbers were doing this part with the heel hook. Still so relaxed.
This is good as well. Still very much in control. Looking at her
very
results.
controlled.
Looking at her results for this year then, in comparison with Kim Jae-in.
Now the first smaller holds.
She starts to move along the top then. Her results from this year, 2nd at the European Championships in Chamonix, a silver medal in Briançon straight after that, then a gold in Imst, then a 2nd place at Purs, then a 4th place at Perm, her one that she missed out on her final podium position, and then 2 gold medals from Mokpo and Muyang, putting her right up there, challenging. She's 1st on the world rankings, 2nd on the World Cup rankings, challenging the opposite for Kim Jae-in, which is 2nd on the world rankings but 1st on the World Cup rankings. What's Mina going to do here? There you go, straight out onto the pink.
Straight forward.
Still looking good.
And now I'm really curious how she's going to do. Now the really tough part.
Okay, but it's gone up with the right hand here at least.
Yeah.
You know, Kim wasted a bit of energy there at that moment. Not so for Mina here.
I think
She's almost rolled her eyes there, like, oh, what? Come on.
Moving to the next hold.
Yes.
Really strong.
Squatting over the top of the orange here. And she's going for the lower foothold as well.
Whoa!
There it is. And that's
our
what I mean
first top.
by the Kim Jae-in situation being the most important moment of the year, because now Mina has a chance to really dominate these finals.
That was such a strong go from her.
Right at the last, one top, a perfect route.
That's perfect.
A perfect route. We see one top. Unbelievable.
That's amazing.
Just took her time there, slowly moving the feet across. First top of the day, the only top of the day so far. Mina Markovic in such a good position going into the finals tonight now. Kim not only just behind her, but 2 or 3 places behind her, because we've got Magdalena Roek and Momoka Oda, I believe, in between.
Crazy.
So strong. And,
really,
you know, an important
awesome
moment there for
semi-final
Kim
and an
Jae-in.
awesome goal from her.
Well, guys, that's your semi-finals, and we've definitely had an exciting one. Hopefully you've enjoyed that one overall. So guys, that is the semi-finals. In a few moments we're going to bring up the results on your screen to show you who has made it through into the finals. No doubt a lot of you have been watching on the IFSC's page already today and will have some idea of who they are going to be. Just to keep you updated, we are back with the finals later on this evening at 7:40 p.m. local time to us. 7:40 p.m. we will be back with you. Here at the moment then, these are your male finalists. 3 tied second place positions: Ondra, De Grange and Amma. Min Hyun Bin in first place there, but we're going to have a very interesting finals. Jan, from the very start of this competition, has been saying that, you know, he's excited about the final routes. They're basically like boulder problems that don't run horizontally, they're stacked up on top of each other. So we're going to see some really interesting finals. This is your second page then of the men's semi-final results. I'm just being told that we do have appeals at the moment. There are quite a few appeals here. Graham Alderson, our technical delegate, will have to deal with. So any results that you're seeing at the moment are, of course, as I always say, provisional until they've been confirmed or denied by the technical delegates, the jury presidents here on the ground. So you're going to have to give it about 5-10 minutes before we'll know for definite that all of these rankings are correct. Taking you over onto the women's then. Here's the interesting part here. Sorry, it was Dinara and Momoka. Yeah, Dinara and Momoka, not Magda. Magda was further down. But here we are, Mina Markovic with the top, the only top of the entire semi-final competition. Dinara Fakhretdinova 55 plus, Momoka Oda 55, Kim Jae-in 52 plus, Magdalena Roek with a 51 plus, Anak Verhoeven makes it through with a 48 plus, and Akio Noguchi there as well. We'll go back to that first page in a moment. We'll have another little look at that one. For now, here's a glimpse at the second page of the rankings at the moment. What a perfect spread of finalists.
It was awesome.
No countback issue at all.
That's really good. I think it's really a nice way to reach finals like that. So the countback doesn't matter, and that's the best way it could be. That was really interesting semi-finals.
Straight from the off, yeah.
And
absolutely.
I think also the finals are going to be so cool.
Yeah.
I'm expecting a really nice route and
a nice break now, you know, considering it's only 3:15 here at the moment. The route setters have got a good 4 hours to really tweak, play around with, and make sure that the routes are comfortable and they're happy with it. There's the 8th place, Maya Vidmar, 42 plus. Fantastic to see her back in a final again.
Yeah,
it's been a while.
True. It has been a while that she wasn't in finals, and also she has already had such a long career and she's still on finals. I think that's good.
And with Akio as well. Akio making it through. And Anak is 17, bringing some of the youth side of things into these finals also. It's been a really, really fantastic semi-finals. Well, guys, thank you very much for being with us. At time again that we'll be back with you is 7:40 p.m. local time to us here in Valence, 7:40 p.m. All that remains for me to do is to say thank you for Seb for being with us all the way through. You had a good time?
Yeah, it was really nice to commentate with you, and I'm looking forward for next time.
It's been a pleasure. You going to come back for the finals tonight?
Of course I will.
Brilliant. Guys, we'll see you in a couple of hours. Have a good little break. See you soon.
See you later.